we begin. So, the thing I would suggest is have at least 200 Orthos potions as the starting kit. I think 200 is fine. You get them over here at the synthesis node. We're kind of assuming with this that you have at least, like, you're, like, ready to go to do the solo run. I mean, there's a whole bunch of things you need to do if you haven't unlocked it yet. Let's just assume that you're looking to solo it and all that stuff. So you have a couple things set up. So you have already Orthos potions, hopefully about 200, which is roughly about 10 fragments. Let's also guess that if you want to start soloing progging, you could probably have at least 75 armor, which is what I recommend minimal. Because by the time you get to the higher floors, they'll probably be at 99. If you have 99, that's fine, but if you have like 75, you can definitely start soloing. We will do some explanations on the key things that we'll run into. In the beginning sets of this, there's not too much to be too concerned about, so we'll kind of go over more strategy and whatnot. But there are about 1 or 2 enemies you should know about on 1 to 10. Oh, I don't have music going. Fixed. I do recommend popping strengths. What's going to be something that you will definitely notice is enemies do not like to die in here. And there are ways to speed it up, which we'll hopefully demonstrate. But more than likely, maybe it depends on how you want to game, but I'll do a variety of ways to do the pulls to make this a little bit more digestible, if you will. So, but first, we'll definitely also go over, like, what every enemy does. So these claws are just going to do a conal, nothing too surprising. A lot of the beginning enemies here are going to do things that you're going to probably be able to react to. Although one thing that is worth noting is this is a proximity enemy, while the imps are sight. They're very chonky. And I think that's one of the things that intimidates a lot of people. That's definitely the thing I hear from a lot of people. That, oh, the 1 to 10, 11 to 20, you know, 1 to 30 is so slow. And you're not wrong, I mean, it does really feel slow. But, there are ways to kind of go about it, and it'll be up to you to decide if you want to, do the thing and go faster. So, we're gonna do a mix of just, you know, small pulls, big pulls, so you can see the different ways to approach content. Also, hug the walls. You'll avoid many traps hugging the walls. It's always a good thing. I would say another good thing is just to get to all the chests. That would be a good habit to form to be able to check all the chests available. So, like, my priority is to pop all of the claws, because they're gonna aggro no, like, big time. Also, I guess another note I can make now is that, you're not gonna see demi-clones until 7. You're also not gonna see bronze chests until 7. So you don't really have to open silver chests at all until about floor 7. And last to note is that the respawns are insane up here. They are going to be every minute on the clock. And it's like the same exact 7 high. The only problem is because you're killing so slow, it feels like it's a lot faster, but it is a 1-minute respawn. So if it feels like you're taking forever through the floors, it's probably because you are, and it's probably because things keep popping in your way. So just be aware of that, and, you know, don't feel too annoyed by that. Trade that pot for HP. I derped on floor 91 on my one-shot attempt and spent 10 tries getting past to 140. 1 to 20 sucks butt. Yeah, it does. It certainly does, Ziggy. It is what it is, though. It's part of the challenge. Oh, past 40. Yeah, 1 to 20 is just rough. But I have definitely consistency through here. So, like, we will do big pulls, but I definitely won't suggest a big pull unless you had a steal. And you'll pick up a steal. And the steals are not as important for a lot of jobs. I would say especially Machinist is not that important. You would probably want one for the boss. And I guess it is also good to know by now to tell you guys that you probably want the potions, the Ortho regen potions by now. Because the boss is really gonna kind of do quite a bit of damage on you as a DPS, unless you're running with a demi-clone. So it would be a good idea to have those Orthos potions as a DPS that doesn't have like a sustainable heal. So keep that in mind. The Succubus here, it's not going to do any telegraphs, it'll just do double attacks. It is also a patrol, and it's also site aggro, so nothing too special about it, but it is the first time we are pulling this one. Initially I always tried full clearing, but it was like never-ending full mobs. Yeah. If you pull them to the exit, it won't be as bad. If you pull them away from the exit, it makes it a little more complicated. The Hawks here, they will have, I believe they will have a backswing, but the probability of you getting to it, well, we can probably trigger it this way. So it does a first thing that way. If I'm directly behind it, nope, okay, it doesn't have a backswing. Which is fine. But again, nothing too different from like the claws that we just fought. So don't worry too much about them. They are sight as well. So, no biggie. As we go through, again, good habit to check all the rooms, etc. We picked up a Lethargy, and when we use certain protomanders that are brand new, we'll definitely explain what they're there for. But for now, we will just kind of let it sit there and, you know, not utilize it. Because it would be kind of weird if I explain it, but then we don't use it, and we're not going to use it quite yet. We don't have a purpose right now. Okay, I'm going to pull this because it is sight. The look. When I tried my Summoner solo attempt, I was surprised how much damage first boss did. It does a good chunk, and one of the different things, if you've done the other deep dungeons before, is both Palace and Heaven on High. I will suggest to like not overkill, like if the exit opens, to keep clearing up the room. And the reason why, because it increases your XP and increases your level, so you kind of stay on level with like the enemies and such. In Eureka Orthos, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're 85, it doesn't matter if you're 90 on the boss. Actually, getting 90 on the boss is really tough, even if you're killing everything. But it doesn't matter, because it still hits you the same, and you're not making that fight significantly faster by being a higher level. So the levels in here, not hugely important. So you don't have to go through the process of killing everything, plus it takes a lot of time. Now, that Orthos Grenade is going to be one of the first things that we really need to talk about. We will pull it, obviously. We're going to pull one of everything on this run. But it is going to be one of the first enemies that has the potential to kill you very easily. And we'll explain why. It's also going to be a hint at how the mechanics of this dungeon works. So, let's pull it. So the thing it's going to do is going to do big burst, but telegraph will not show till late, so watch it. It does the telegraph there, does the thing, but it does it quick. So it's a little bit of a tricky AoE. Such that if you're not paying attention, or you didn't realize that that's what it does make it tough to avoid it. But that'll be the theme for a lot of enemies in this specific deep dungeon, that you'll see abilities show up, but you're not going to be able to react to it. And that's kind of where this might help you get that knowledge if you're using these type of videos and these type of guys, etc. And I think it's even more, like, important versus the other two deep dungeons, that having knowledge will literally be like having power. Whereas sometimes in Palace and Heaven on High, knowing, it's really half the battle, you know? Like, the other half of the battle is actually executing it. Here, I would say knowing is more like 80% of the battle, and then executing is more like 20%. And 20% is like 10% remembering what was just told to you, and the other 10% is like, you know, paying attention to it, essentially. Like other than just like, you know, not like losing focus. So big burst is coming in. That's pretty fast. It's a pretty fast ability there. So you do want to respect it. And yeah, that's the gist of that one. I mean, it's not going to do anything else, but if you get hit with that, by the way, that is a death. You are just killed as a DPS. Especially as a Machinist no steel. Yeah, you're just dead. And that will be the theme for lots of these AoEs, that they're just going to kind of outright kill you. You can't lose focus on a lot of these enemies. Our mobs, they are not faster than the others. They are exactly the same as Heaven on High. a lot of the stuff from Heaven on High are copied over here. So, the respawns are exactly 1 minute in here. And that's exactly what it is in Heaven on High. But again, it feels longer. It feels shorter. And the only reason it feels shorter is simply because it takes you so much longer to kill things. You put at 95%, knocked man? I like 80%. I mean, you still have to focus. Would you say EO is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentration? Which movie is that from? I don't remember which movie that's from. I will keep the strength going, by the way. Do not feel afraid of keeping that strength moving. Because, again, these enemies are beefy, so you just want to just kill them out. Oh, it's a song, right? Not a movie. Demons and the Vassago. So we'll pull the Vassago. It will do a double attack, but it will also follow with an ability called Grim Hollow, which is very similar to... Nah, it's not the same. But it is kind of fast, so if you're caught dead center, you may not actually get out of that AoE. And again, the theme of this deep dungeon, get hit with an AoE, you're probably dead. Demons are going to do Condemnation, which is just a tighter conal. Nothing too special. It's a very simple one just to get out of there. So be good. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that song, yeah. Once I saw the first couple, I'm like, oh yeah, it's this song. I think that was like an old song, right? Like 90s or something? I think I remember that in grade school. Alright, so I think we conquered the current new enemies that have spawned on floor 4. Something I will try to say a couple times during this run. 1, 4, and 7. Those are going to be floors that are important, because usually on those floors you'll see new sets of enemies show up. And on those floors, if you're still learning how to, you know, get mechanics down, you're a little shaky on what things does, that is where Lethargy will be good, because Lethargy will provide the ability to slow down auto attacks and also slow down the casting time of all of the abilities, no matter what it is. And even for the ones that are quick casts, you will still get time to see them, because they will show up, but then they're still taking a long time to cast. It's a really good protomander to have at hand if you're kind of learning or a little unsure of things. So 1, 4, and 7 are the key floors. Now, things will spawn on other floors, like you'll see stuff introduced on 2, you'll see stuff introduced on 6, but just to kind of keep it as simple as possible, 1, 4, 7 is the one. Oh, is it? Oh, I didn't know that. Hey, Irrational. I will pull neither of these because they just turned up. The Teaching Palm. Yeah, I would say Lethargy is like the Teaching Palm. Alright, I had to mute because of that call. So here I think we'll do a little bit of fun stuff. So we've been kind of single pulling this whole time. And let me just check what this room looks like so we can show you some strats that we can utilize. Okay, let's go. So I'm gonna site here. And this is a pretty good room to go for. So, we're gonna do a Lethargy here. And again, what's gonna happen with Lethargy? A giant animation will show up on screen. But all the enemies will have a 10-minute debuff. And this will be a good example in this specific grenade. We're gonna pull this grenade, watch this thing, it's gonna be very, very slow. Look how slow that is, and the AoE is going to come out a lot faster. Now, the only thing that makes this tricky is that if you're kind of on this mental timing of how things are supposed to spawn, etc., it could cause a bit of a weird thing going on with it. Now this Behemoth got angry. I'll explain another Behemoth. I didn't really have time to explain this one, but we will definitely explain a future one. So what I'll do here is I'm going to pop a Steel. And this will be kind of a way that we can handle these enemies as a big pull. And again, you don't have to do this, it's not necessary, but if you do feel like you're getting into a bit of a slog when it comes to the lower floors, this is something you can do, and we can do big pulls. And with Lethargy, it's very good because there's a lot of damage mitigation happening with Lethargy. Because they're taking so long to do their attacks, they're taking so long to auto-attack, you can for sure be able to handle a lot of these. Now, I'm gonna do a witching here to kind of make this just a little bit easier so they're gathered together. But this is kind of one way that you can handle this set of enemies as a much bigger pull and in speed. Now, like, for the guys that are doing, like, scoring runs, whatnot, this is almost, like, natural progression of what you're doing, and you're just pulling, pulling, pulling. Because their auto attacks are also not very threatening in this specific deep dungeon, unlike the others. So this is, like, a pretty safe method of trying to get through. It really is. And as you can see, it's a lot... not complicated. I mean, a lot of these AoEs to come out, but I can see on the left side if they're coming in. Oh, did I move? I guess I moved. And even with... yeah, I got the level there. But even with them hitting me occasionally, we're not really too threatened by what these guys are doing. So this is an option. I'm only going to really do this a handful of times. We're not going to do it, you know, more than that, because I'll kind of still demonstrate the more relaxed method of doing this climb. But there is an option right there, doing big pulls. Seeing the Jackies from Heaven on High in the early floors threw me off. Oh yeah, I mean, we'll pull the Behemoth on the next one to showcase what a Behemoth does. But yeah, Behemoth for sure is very intimidating. That respawns maybe not be... yes! What Corn Pop said is very true. That's what makes this set in particular a little tricky, is that the respawns do not have the Lethargy. So you have to be careful. If you do a big pull like that, there could be this one enemy that is just like casting way faster than everyone else, because you picked up a respawn. Real unfortunate. Okay, now we got a Bhoot. A Bhoot is sound. I shall demonstrate why it is sound, because we can walk right past it, but then if we go normal speed it aggroes. It will do a move called Terror Touch, which sucks, but I'm gonna let it go through. Basically what Terror Touch will do is just a 15-second disease, and it will lower your movement... oh, 20-second, I'm sorry. There is no diminishing return on this, so every time it casts, it's 20 seconds. And this is really more annoying than anything. It doesn't do damage, it doesn't do anything other than give you disease. It is interruptible, so I do recommend trying to interrupt it. But if you're doing big pulls, it might be something that you will have to worry about. Any shield negate will negate the debuff too? Yes. Well, at least on this specific job, that's not going to be a problem. Behemoth will... this is like a Behemoth in literally 180. It'll do Wild Horn, which is the knockback. It'll also chase you, which I'll probably describe. And also, worth noting, we have no knockback on the floor, so it didn't actually knock me back because of it. This guy has an Enrage. At low HP, I think it's either below 30 or below 20. He will actually do Ecliptic Meteor. Ecliptic Meteor is LOSable. If that hits you, you are dead. I guess that was under 40%. This is the same meteor that does, like, in Palace of the Dead, but this one will kill you straight up. We can LOS it. He's okay. So if you have a problem with that one, you can just line of sight it. We just did that just for demonstration purposes. But you do want to kind of backload your damage a little bit. So maybe save your bigger burst for later as opposed to opening with a burst. But as a DPS, as a machinist, you're probably not too worried about it. I think the only time you're worried about it is if you have a blind. And that's that would be probably the big reason why you'd be like, okay, well, I probably need to kill this a lot faster. Water sprites are proximity. And the bigger issue with them is in the other deep dungeons, we could do the line of sighting for them. So you can line of sight their casts, but as you can see, there is no casted bar, so you cannot line of sight these, so you just have to eat the damage, but it's not doing that much anyway. Does Kitty mess with Queen Attack? I think she gets everything off. Like, she goes through a rotation. Cut man, so I think it's okay, but I honestly haven't noticed, because I'd rather just stay alive anyway than really worry about what the heck she's doing. But I think she goes through her full rotation, so it should be okay. Right. Alright, so up till now we have never seen a demi-clone, we've never seen bronze chests. We step into floor 7, that changes. We also start picking up a lot of other protomanders. Dreads, Storms, demi-clones, they'll all start showing up on this floor in particular. Why? That's how it is. I mean, there's no other reason, there's no other explanation other than that's just how it works. This is the guide. No, I cleared a Machinist already. So, like, I wouldn't do a guide, Finn, personally, unless I did the clear already. So yeah, we cleared our Machinist already. What's up, Finn? Finn, do you sleep? What a dumb question. Of course you don't sleep. Why am I asking? No, yeah, that's what I thought, yeah. Cyborg Finn. Good to see you, man. Good to see you, my dear friend. So let's go. Oh, Fachan. So the Fachan does stone casting. We'll also do a Dread Gaze, which I believe paralyzes, but honestly, I'm not about to find out. It is a conal, so you can get behind. And that's okay. What is What's up there, man? Welcome back here, man. Finn doesn't even exist. No, he's like Ghost in the Shell. He just hops bodies, that's what happens. I think it's a spellcasters have. I think it's a spellcasters have. Like a blue mage? Is this halfway through Omni? Yeah, halfway through the second round of Omni for Finn. That's right. Alright, let me get the Behemoth. Come to me. You need to kite in such a way that the mob stutter queen steps while chasing you. So this will be a knockback. It has to get in range to use it. So notice that the cast finished, but it didn't use it until it got close to me, so something worth noting. A couple enemies are like that they need to be in the proper range, and they'll still commit to the attack. That's actually pretty different compared to some mechanics in Palace and Heaven on High, where you can outrange them, and then it'll cancel the cast. But it doesn't happen very often. But in this case, these are some casts where they finish the cast, and they gotta get to you to use it. So notice he doesn't get to me right away, and then close enough. It's like one of those, it's like a very minute detail, but it can come in handy. What the heck? I had to wait for like 3 respawns to get out of this floor. Hey! The no chest Finn run. I'm glad those type of runs are really helpful for people, you know, that's just huge. I know when I did the no sustaining one, that helped a lot of people. You know, being able to see how to handle enemies without the use of that, I think it added confidence, I think it showed different strategies. It was a pretty cool run, and those challenge runs I think really help perspective-wise, and I think that's so fascinating to me, honestly. You know, it might not be the run that you'll actually execute, but at the same time, there's still information you get from it that really is helpful. Pretty cool. I have not seen another steal, which I was kind of hoping for. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an affluence to get a steal, hopefully for the boss, to make it a little bit better, but it's not a big deal if you don't. So again, this thing just does stone and a gaze, nothing too crazy. You could LOS the stone, but I mean, it's just going to hit for like nothing worth noting. We'll get behind and we'll continue damage. Hey, Soul Char. Wipes on 72. Nice, okay. 72 is good. Thanatos, this just does, I believe, a conal. That's about it. It is also, I need to check. I think it is sound, but I'll check on the next one. They're definitely help put resource management in context, yeah. That's one thing I do want to also get to eventually, but I mean, look, there's just a lot of content to do, so we'll get to them one at a time. I'm not straining for content, that's for sure, because there's just too much of it. We'll do a site here. Big floor with a lot of demicone potential. Let's go, dude. Alright. Okay, we have a dragon here. If I remember correctly, this does do a line AoE into a circle AoE. Let me double check. Yep, Dragon Breath. This is just like that one dungeon. Ray Flocks. Except I'm pretty sure that AoE probably kills you, so just don't stand in it. Silver. And it'll go there. Let me check if the giant is sound, which I think it is, but I'll just double check. Let me get the chest. Test for the tutorial. I do want to do that one time, though. This is sound, for sure. I do want to do that one time. I think Meiji is doing something, or has already done something like that, but I would love to do that. It's gotta be a tank, though. A tank's gotta be the job for me to do that. That's a landmine, so I could utilize it if I wanted to, but we'll see. Gonna kill the dragon. Invul in the video game? Exactly. Full mitigation, shake it off, everything. Alrighty. Yeah, we're kind of doing the minimal here, nothing too wild and crazy to get the clear. I would say this is like how a typical runner would go. You wouldn't do crazy things, like big pulls and everything. I mean, you can. It honestly does make it more fun if you do, but it's certainly not a requirement of trying to clear the content. Getting ready for Terror Touch, we're gonna stop it. It feels like most telegraphs will still kill me unless I have... It will. Yeah. I mean, they do a hefty amount of damage, that's for sure. Alrighty, let's get out of here. Did survive a swipe from an earlier Floyd Minotaur, steal his tank. Damn. Tank privilege, man. Literal tank privilege, for sure. Helpful. You haven't gotten past floor 0 yet? Are you even in Endwalker, Darabon? Hey, that's a whole other question. Well, Darabon's still stuck with the Machinist, to be fair. I'm sorry, Astro, to be fair. So, you know. There's some priorities needed over there. I hope for steel. Got a Serenity, hope for steel. Got a Sight, cool. Neither of which I need. Oh boy, it's a small room. Alrighty. Stone Stormblood? Hell yeah, that's what I thought. You ready? Love it. So I'm gonna utilize this landmine. Here's kind of some of the strategies that we can employ here. We will do... we're gonna walk. And then we're going to hit the landmine, because we do not aggro the giant while walking. So we're going to hit the landmine, which will do 80% of my current HP. I could step on it, maybe? Oh my god, can I step on it? Okay, thank you. We'll pull the giant. Not really too worried about it hitting me, because it's not going to do that much damage. We get a nice quick kill on this. This will kind of be a little bit of a trend for some of the things in Eureka Orthos, that there are first and foremost a lot of landmines. Don't ask me why, but there are a lot of landmines. They just injected a lot of landmines in here. And their auto attacks, like I mentioned before, are not going to do too much. So hitting a landmine, even as a DPS, is not overly scary. It is still scary, but it's not as bad as the previous Deep Dungeons. We pick up a Protomander Dread right there. Protomander Dread will be similar to a Rage and a Lust put together in Palace of the Dead. If you don't know what those are, a Rage... essentially is a power-up that you can smash enemies one hit and kill them in one hit, provided there is the no knockback debuff on the floor. If you have a floor that has no knockback, it does not work, because you need to knock back the enemy for it to work, so something to keep in mind. The other one is a Lust, or rather just a vulnerability down on things, so if you hit something, it'll have a 3-minute vulnerability down, stacks to 5. But not gonna lie, a lot of the runners, like, barely have any use for it. Like, there's, like, one specific use, and that's even if you want to do it, so... But it's there. One of the cool ideas that someone told me was that they used it to pull enemies out of a room to be able to do the Rage. because sometimes you have to be in melee range to hit an enemy with the rage, so that could actually help you pull him out. Not a bad idea. All right, Mr. Boss here. It's Commander Mandy. You must fight him. We're going to be doing a we're going to be having to chug a lot of potions. So this is where you really want to have your weaker potions on, because this thing's gonna hurt. Especially more so without the fact I have steel. Now, his first move is going to be AoEs on the ground, and they're going to be centered a little bit around my character. So all you gotta do is just move away from them and go to the safe spot. You can stand with the Mandy head on the ground. Now, what I did find out, and I'm gonna see if I can replicate it, if I stand directly middle here, I think I go all four around me. You want to be a little bit careful about that one. It could make it a little complicated. Now, what I like to do is I like to do, after two of them, park him in the corner, because the proximity is going to be coming in. Gives me a lot of space. You don't have to do this, but it does give me a lot of space. And we get to prep for the next mechanic, which will have markers here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you have 1, you have 2, you have 3. You kind of want to stand on the third one, because it gives you time to avoid going to the middle. And boom, you satisfy the mechanic, and you've seen the entire fights. And it's time to repeat it. So, I would say most dangerous is to stand on this one, so if you stand here, you get a free spot on that one, which is kind of cool. Kind of keeps it simple there. And we can keep repeating that. So that's a nice easy way to kind of handle that. Stay in the corner to bait the proximity. Now as an option, you don't have to stand on 3. As long as you're not standing in 1, then you're alright. This is gonna hurt. This is gonna hurt a lot. It's gonna hurt a lot. Okay, we're fine. So, let's find 2. I'm gonna stand over here on 2. As long as you're quick, you'll be fine. So the first one comes out, go right into the middle, and you'll be fine right there. I'm not healing. I didn't think dude, I thought I hit the potion. Just dismantle. As you can see, you need the potions going. Alright, we got the free spot here. So that's the fight. I mean, that's all you're gonna expect from this fight. But, if anything, the biggest worry is more the damage intake. That's the one you have to worry about. Hey, Raven, how you doing? Keep the potion rolling. Bait the proximity here. Yeah, it was out of the corner a little bit. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. The safety play is to go to 3, but you can still dodge it if you go to 2. Is okay, is alright. I also did purposely strength on this fight because I really don't want to have to keep chugging potions. So there's a park here to get the opening on the corner. Make this a little bit easier. And that can be consistent. Potion's gonna come back up here. Parking here, waiting to bait the proximity. Moving out. One. 2, we're going over here to go to 3. 3. Moving in. This is a long fight. If I remember correctly, this boss, I think, has a similar amount of HP to, like, the floor 40 boss. It's a beefy boss. Honestly, if you have a demi-clone, you can consider using a demi-clone on this boss to make it go faster. And you're not going to feel too bad about that either, because demi-clones are going to be pretty common. At least common enough in the way that it would be not so detrimental to use one. But I'll tell you, a lot of my runs, I don't really pick one up this high, this low. A little bit more rare to pick it up in the first 10. Well, you'll see them drop pretty commonly as we move forward. Alright, we're almost there. 2, 3, 4, 5, pop. Good spot here. My potion is down. Oop. I think I paid attention. Alright, that's 410. Da-da-da-da. Protomanders are actually not really that great, but we got there, so. Alright, see you, Opal. Yeah, I hope so. I'm sure we will. A lot of people are celebrating all the time, so. The sunglasses hat combo on this boss shows he means business. Yeah, usually. I saw me a ninja that came back to Machinist doing double dip. Yup, double file setup, Raven. How we're going to be doing the schedule pretty much moving forward is we'll be doing 1 to 40 on 2 files on 1 day, and then we'll do 1 clear attempt on 1 day, and then another clear attempt on another day. And I think I like that schedule right now. Hey Sheila, good morning, Sheila. Oh no, good afternoon, Sheila. How you doing? Oh, Sheila, Thursday morning, yes? Thursday morning? Yes, no, yes, no? I don't think I'll be awake. I'm not gonna wake up for live later though. But we can do our arrangement for live later if you wanna if you wanna do it. Just, you know, do the thing. But 9:30. I will check. Okay, I will check. It's only because I might do things in the morning, and that's usually about the time I usually do things in the morning. So I will check and I'll get back to you. And actually that day, it's interesting because that day my schedule shifted for a little bit for the next 3 weeks. Usually I have a lot of things to do on Thursday. Now that's shifted to a Tuesday. So I don't have as much things to do on a Thursday, but we'll see about that morning. So I'll let you know. Are you doing live letter? Last question before you know, I don't want to bombard you while you're tired, but I was just curious. When is LL? Isn't it this Friday? Right? Wait. Yeah, it's this Friday, right? April 1st, the 31st. Okay. It's Friday morning. Okay. Alright, so we'll do... I won't wake up for that, but we'll do our whole thing. So, that sounds good to you? Then, we'll do it. So, okay. Cool. What are there reasoning aside from raid tier? Criterion Part 2. And, no, the raid's not here. I mean, I'm sorry. The Alliance raid is not there. You feel dead inside from this game? Play something else. Play something. Oh, dude, let's go. Yeah, yo, 101 to 200. Ooh, that's a good burp. Alright, I'm gonna pop some food in to make this a little better. And we will start into 11 to 20. So 11 to 20, I would say, is not a bad floor at all. A lot of the enemies are not too complicated. Like, running it through my head right now, I don't think there's anything that will catch you off guard, per se. Like, it's a pretty uneventful set outside the boss. The boss is going to be eventful. But here we're going to go through collecting chests as much as possible, you know, building the protomanders. Really good opportunity to try to find the raisings, to try to find the demi-clones. Yeah, we'll do one pull of everything. We'll show you guys and all that stuff. So, just let me know Thursday morning so I can talk to me about the washing machine. It's okay. I'm less important than a washing machine. Don't worry about it. Washing machine is very important. Tell me to play something else that's too logical. Yeah, get wrecked, Anna. I will open with his Shank again because again these enemies are bad and they're gonna take me a while to kill. We have the Spirulina, who's gonna do a double attack, and I think that's it. it's one of those things where it's just like they exist, so I mean, you know, they do things. Cool. But yeah, there's your Spirulina. Then we're gonna go to the Morbol. The Morbol will be doing a double attack first, and then it will do its classic Bad Breath, which will be a Kono. There's Divine Probe, and then Bad Breath. Again, theme of the floor is that if you stand in AoE, you'll probably be dead, so don't stand in AoE. You guess it's leaking? Oh. Rip. Keter is going to be your standard one. It'll just do a conal. We also got a 1-minute respawn, as mentioned. We talked about it earlier in the previous set, that the respawns are 1 minute. If you check the clock, that spawned at 58, or 59 rather. Just in case you were wondering, it is a 1-minute respawn. Also notice, we are a DPS without steal, and lower level than these guys, and they're still not doing that much, so auto attacks are pretty weak in here. So that's why, you know, landmine plays, big pulls are not going to be overly scary, because you can survive a lot of this stuff. Good. So that kind of covers a lot of the enemies that you've seen up till now. I'm gonna wait for my HP to cap out. If this chest explodes, it'll do 70% of my max. So if I'm below 70, I am dead. I would prefer not to die. Warrior Recon Time. We'll do it. Also worth noting, this is our first occurrence of a bronze chest, just like Heaven on High. But you know, we'll kind of talk to the fact that, you know, if you've never done Heaven on High, the mimics are tiered, meaning they will only show up out of a specific chest in a specific floor. So from 1 to 30, it is from bronze chests. So there's a big chance that this could be a mimic. From 31 to 60, it'll be silver, and then 61 plus, it's gold. So a mimic cannot show up in any chest unless it's a bronze chest in this floor in particular, and up to 30. So don't fear mimics. You know, you can totally skip bronze chests, by the way. You don't even have to pop them, although they do give you their fragments, so they're kind of cool to have even on the lower floors, even though it's a lower chance. But you can totally skip them if you do not want to deal with mimics. My Machinist can handle it pretty well. Adul, long-time lurker. Have been working on Necromancer title, failed at Machinist 180 several times and trying it word now after feeling burnt out. This guy just does a conal, by the way, Creeping Hush. Nothing too exciting. Pretty standard for a lot of these enemies, so there you go. Any tips on what I should worry about doing as a tank? Time. Poppy Tart, thanks for that follow. Time is the one that you need to worry about most on a tank. You know, you're probably not going to die. I mean, Behemoth is also a bit of a concern, but it's more about the time issue. And, I mean, the way you do that is, you know, doing silver chest plays, doing landmine plays depending on the tank. I mean, a warrior is really good with landmine plays, so getting used to doing big pulls like that can be really useful to you to save some time. But, you have to find ways to go faster. I mean, one of the basic ways you can do a duel is to keep your strengths at 2 on the higher floors. Don't overcap. Anytime you see a third one, making sure you don't, you know, like, refresh the strength you already had on, but every time you get to 3, use the strength to keep the damage up, to go literally, what's the strength again? 30%. So to go 30% faster as much as possible, a lot of time saved, yeah. But, that would be the biggest thing. Managing the time, doing some potential bigger pearls, blah blah blah, and going in that direction for it. But Behemoth will still be tough. I mean, versus Machinist, you know, it's not that much easier versus Machinist. It could be, but we're not talking leaps and bounds easier than Machinist. So you have to worry about Behemoth, and once you get past Behemoth, then you definitely have some good chances of clearing. Alright, so again, we just fought 2 enemies, and I'm not really sweating it. You know, if this was Heaven on High, I'd sweat it. This was honestly Palace, so it'd be a little bit, although they'd probably die a lot faster. But we're not too worried about that. I haven't started this content lately. So like you've never done it, or... That sentence confuses me, Anna. Okay, these are all sight. I didn't mention that. Oh, yeah, well, that's good. Hey, no problem, and good luck. Hey, keep me posted, by the way. Keep me posted on how you're doing. I always like to know how guys, how everyone is doing on these runs, so... Mr. Ben Rice. Hello, my friend. My teammate. My man. D-Ben Rice. Garudo, hello. Duro, hello. Willow Greed, hello. Welcome in, guys. How y'all doing? My name is Demonist. I do a lot of Deep Dungeon Solo. I do some variety, Mondays and Fridays. Currently working on Octopath too. And today, right now, we are doing, we're setting up a brand new live tutorial for Machinist on Eureka Orthos. So you definitely have come in at the point where I'm going to be over-explaining as much as possible. And if you have any questions, you're welcome to ask them. I'll try to get to them as best as I can. And how is your stream? What's up, Biptech? How you doing, man? How was your stream? How did everything go? Hopefully you had a good stream. I think you were doing Teaching Tuesdays, right? So you're teaching how to do some weightlifting and stuff. My trip was amazing. Learned a lot, Biptech. It was really cool to go to a convention as, you know, for business purposes, and I really enjoyed the experience, so it was really cool. Hey, thanks for shouting out our buddy Ben. Definitely check out Ben. He does a lot of Deep Dungeon, a lot of physical activity on stream. Very, very knowledgeable.
Happy anniversary, sir. Good luck on the runs. Stream was good, and now I'm gonna be doing crafting for this ARR relic while watching you have fun, lol.
Hey, enjoy the crafting. Let's go, dude. But thank you for... Man, 1 year! I can't believe it's been 1 year, Ben. What the hell, dude? But awesome. Glad to hear it. Definitely check out Ben. Talented man. Singer. Weightlifter. Physical. God. And he does Deep Dungeon and Ultimate Raider. So he's a very talented individual. And voice acting! Oh my god, there's just too much. His resume is just too much for us to handle. He's so good. But definitely check out his streams. Good man. Ben is my complete opposite, knowledgeable and active. What are you talking about? Get out of here. World's strongest necromancer. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was a good trip, Biftech. Thanks for asking, man. Moke, thanks for the follow. Welcome in. Checking that room just to see what's over there, and now we're gonna go. Nothing new on these first 2 floors. We fought everything up till now. Kiting, running around. I mean, you know, we were able to talk about our friends and talk about the raid, and that's kind of how the comfort level is. The AoEs are not very complicated. You know, just to give you... I'll definitely tell you, like, once we get into the deeper floors, things are going to be a little bit more... I'm going to focus in a lot more, but for now, we're definitely in a nice comfort level with this content. And we picked up an all-important raising. If you're frogging this for the first time, do not feel ashamed about raising, let me tell you. You do want to pop those raising. They will be very common once you get to 71, but you gotta get to 71 to see them drop. So, don't feel bad about using raising early on. Did you learn anything you're not allowed to share? No NDA. Nope, I didn't learn anything that is NDA. I kinda made sure to. I did play a couple games that were like, you know, like beta, like super beta. As in, they were in closed beta testing, but it was pretty cool. You might start seeing some of them show up on this stream, because I was really interested in a couple of them. But definitely had a good time over there. A couple of the things that did catch my eye that I liked a lot, Biptech. Wayfinder was one that was pretty good, although it does still need a little bit more work, but it was a pretty good game. I might be releasing a video tomorrow explaining my experience in that game at PAX. I was able to play the game and record my gameplay, which is pretty awesome. Black Protocol was another game. It's a roguelike top-down shooter with up to 3 people. That was an interesting game. I got to play that for a couple minutes. And then the one I've been eyeing for years called Cuisinier, which you're a cat trying to become a chef. And there is crafting, there's house building, but there's also dungeons that are procedurally generated to find ingredients and materials and stuff. And that's where like a lot of the roguelike parts of the game come in. It's a really neat game. This microsystem has spawned. This is a proximity enemy. As you saw it aggro immediately to me. It'll just do a line AoE, piercing laser. Nothing too crazy, except for the fact again that it is a proximity enemy, so sometimes it can get a little bit annoying. Like some of those Contra levels. Yeah, kind of, yeah. It's like isometrical, I think, so think like Diablo 3-ish, if that's the proper term that I'm using. Deep Dungeon and cat games? Yes. Willow, you know me well, my friend. Yeah. Like, every time you die, you have to start all the way back from the beginning. So it was kind of interesting. But it was a pretty fun one. That's in closed beta. You can actually sign up for the beta in that game if you wanted to. And blue, that's right, and blue. Alright, we're gonna pull another microsystem, because I want to get to this room. Again, just a line AoE, nothing too exciting. It's a pretty big line AoE, but, you know. What's up, Falco? Alright, gonna get this chest. Probably will aggro, or I'm gonna owl, that's fine too. Excuse me while I get out of this room. Uh-oh. What? How did you aggro? Excuse me? That's an illegal aggro. Alright. If you don't know, you transform into a cute owl. Your cuteness does not increase your defense. Just bear that in mind. Owl, ooh, woo. Yes, that's right. Alright. Now back to the regularly scheduled program, trying to get this chest while aggroing something else. Better be worth it. That is not worth it. And Jedi Man, thanks for the raid! Welcome in. Oh, look how fast Sheila got the raid, holy moly. Well, unintentional big pull. Super unintentional big pull. Go on, button. Now, we have 4 enemies on me, no steal, and I'm not really sweating it, so, any more evidence about the whole auto-attack thing, you know, that's Eureka Orthos in a nutshell. Because my hands are on the keyboard, I didn't stand a chance, Deb. That's why you gotta go both hands, man. Why did you die? 0.1% my butt. Alright, we're getting there. A little slow. Slow floor, but it's alright. I'm walking to the bus stop. Dang. Oh, we have a safe trip to the bus stop. Don't text and walk, what's wrong with you? Alright, finally off this floor. Now, we're on the 4th floor, we mentioned this on the first set, 147. Usually gonna see a swapping of the enemies available. Also, there's an auto heal. Now, something worth noting on auto heal, although we don't have a storms. The enemies do also have auto heal. See the enemy icon there? They have auto heal disabled. If you use a protomander storms, it'll also drop all the enemies to low HP, but they will not heal back. So it's going to be one of the strategies hopefully we'll be able to execute on this run. And it is basically like a free floor. But we'll definitely explain that if we see it and if we get there. But that's something to just keep in mind. That is an addition of this patch. 6.3 is when they put that in there. So, I'd Wood Golem. I believe it's not going to do anything special outside of potentially line AoE or tonal AoE. It's going to do a line AoE. That's about it. Welcome to the Wood Golem. Almost tripped over Current doing a bench shout-out. Okay. Yeah, I appreciate the dedication to that, man. Just don't get hit with a car or something, that'd be kind of bad. We also have Flower Lady that I like to call Belladonna. She's not gonna do anything exciting though, she's just gonna do a circle AoE on me. I gotta make sure my HP's a little bit higher. I also would like to stop missing. Blind, by the way, is brutal in Eureka Orthos. I don't know why. It's a pretty brutal debuff. We have the Onion Knight. Wow. So the Onion Knight is a little bit more rare than the other Demi-Clones. It is the best Demi-Clone to use. It has the highest DPS and it does heal. And it is actually the one that we're looking for this entire run, because we will be using that on specifically the last floor, 99. So we're not going to be using that Onion Knight until about 99, unless we get yet another one, but that's a good start there. I could use it on any other floor, but I am definitely saving it for specifically floor 99. As you saw with that Belladonna that just did like a circle AoE on me, nothing too exciting, but you know, don't worry. The enemies will get more exciting as we get further, but this is just the intro floors. Onion bro hype! Onion bro hype! Watch your ricochet, guys. Never pop a ricochet when there's enemies around you. Sheila, how do you feel that you were ahead of the game with the Onion emote? You knew, like a year in advance, that the Onion will be the king of Deep Dungeon. Honestly, you feel good. Good. Onion is king? Yeah. Apparently. Alright, I have no auto-heal disable, so I need to kind of keep my HP up a little bit. Up! Okay, that's a good... There's a respawn of a freaking drone. I love it. I love this for me. Yeah, the protomanders have actually been a little few and far between. Usually would have a little bit more than I do now, but they've been a little bit tough to come by. And we've been trying to. That's what you do. You gotta take these floors to gather your resources up here. Even if it takes a little bit extra time to make it happen, it's still gonna be worth the effort. I'm gonna seek this chest because they're not looking at it. These are all sight. Safety. Nice lore, Chiba. Alright, where's the exit? Is this one? Bum 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 bum. With the new comp pasta. God! Dang it. Anya's king. Debatable. Yeah, I'm low HP, but I don't care, man. I'll kill this before it kills me. Easy game. I'm gonna wait for my HP to come back up first. That should be high enough. I already saw the exit. So look at this visually. You can see the blue rotating spear. That is the exit. Sometimes that's good to notice, because you can go in the opposite directions and check the other rooms before going to the exit. Especially if you're trying to time manage a little bit and, like, you know, not waste so much time. It's always good to check the other rooms before you hit the exit then, otherwise you have to walk back and forth. There is one new enemy here, which is going to be the Knight coming in. He is not too bad. His future self in the next set, though, very bad. The Orthosoldier, that's what that is. So he'll just do head spin, which is just a point-blank AoE around him. Nothing too bad. but that is going to one-shot you if you get hit with it, so don't get hit with it. Full Knight. Full Knight. Boom, 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 boom. Alright, so that handles the Orthosoldier, so we've now pulled everything up till now. Potential Mimic in this bronze chest, so I'll check it first. You could also get a Fragment, which we'd like to have. Is not, but of course a proximity enemy spawns right on top of the exit, because why not? Miss Kiri Ari! Hello, 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 my dear friend Kiri Ari. V Kiri Ari, the VTuber extraordinaire. Gamer extraordinaire. How are you doing? How are you feeling? How are you doing? Welcome in, guys. I'm Angel Eunice. I'm currently in Eureka Orthos solo on Machinist. We're doing a bit of a tutorial, but it's okay. You can talk to me if you have any questions about this. We will do it. I'll be explaining a lot of things as we're going through, so you can sit back, relax, or talk to me. I want to know how Kiri is. What's up, Kiri? Had no KD new bids to you. Okay, okay. Is it for the shoulder or like something else? But you ready to kick 14 ass? Yes, you do. Welcome, you guys. Do a lot of deep dungeon over here. I do some variety as well, Mondays and Fridays. A new MRSC got ooh. Yeah, I am. So I kind of am a little bit relatable with you, Kiri, because I've had a shoulder problem. So I had a shoulder problem years ago. Like, we're talking like almost had surgery. Shoulder problem. But I instead went to physical therapy. And it worked. Like, okay, we handled it physical therapy. This was maybe 10 years ago. The shoulder problem cropped back up maybe in November of 2022. I think let's say October, November. I have felt pain in my shoulder ever since then, every single day, so I'm a little concerned. I've tried the physical therapy it on and off. I'm still trying to observe it. So, you know, I'm a little stubborn, but at least you're actually getting it checked out. I, on the other hand, would prefer not to get it checked out, and I'm kind of suffering, so, you know. Had the soft PT. Made it 100 times worse. Ooh, yeah, that's bad. Okay, nerve pain. Yeah, for me, the self-PT has been helping, so I'm kind of doing that for now. Like, every day I felt pain in the shoulders, so it's a little concerning, but I'm hoping I don't have to do anything to it. So I feel you totally with the shoulder pain, so I do hope that gets better. But guys, check out Kiri. She's a very entertaining young lady on her streams, and you really like her. If you like my streams, you're gonna like her streams. We just used a protomander of Lethargy, so what you're gonna see is everything's gonna be slower. We kind of explained this last time. Really good protomander to have to see what things are doing. Just don't get complacent, because you can still die to things. That finished early. Why did that finish early? Yeah, so just be careful with the slower ones, but it does really help you kind of learn what things are doing if you're completely unsure. Find the answer. Alright, cool. And I hope it is for a good thing. Man, if it's the neck, that really sucks. I have a family member, Kiri, that, and I'm being vague about that, but basically they think a nerve issue on their leg. And they've had it for a couple months now. Like, it would never heal. No matter what they did. They did, like, PT, they did massaging, you know, a lot of, like, stretching and all this stuff, but they kind of, like, deduced it down to just this nerve that's getting pinched that won't resolve itself. Maybe, so, like, the way you described it made it sound very similar to that. So I hope it's, like, something that's not complicated to fix, you know? Very positive, good. You are very positive, and that's always good about you, you know? So I think sometimes being positive helps you heal. like no joke, you know? Like, thinking the other way makes you feel worse, but feeling positive about things makes you feel a little bit better. So I have full faith that you'll be fine. No, that AoE didn't finish early. I'm just tripping. Alright. This Orthos system is sound. I'm sorry, it's proximity. So just like a lot of the other robots, you gotta be careful. So they are kind of priority on the kill list if you want to go a little bit at a decent pace. You're oldage? You're old? You're not old, dude. Pretty sure you're younger than me, which makes you young. Oh, let's do it for Rafflesia. Rafflesia, honestly, it's not memorable enough for me to remember. I'm pretty sure it's just a circle AoE or something. It'll do Bloody Caress directly into that AoE. That's also a respawn, so we were talking about that earlier. We use a Lethargy on this floor, but if there's a respawn, it does not have Lethargy, so therefore it's at normal speed. I think the thing that throws me off, that could throw you off, is the immediate follow-up attack. But it's a pretty simple AoE to dodge. You think I'm older than you? I mean, we don't need to start tossing ages around, but I mean... You know. I'm pretty sure you're younger than me. At least, like, by, if anything, like, a little bit. But yeah, you're definitely younger than me. I'm almost certain. Question. We'll do another Rafflesia. Wow, like, what happened to everything that I lethargied? Everything is just respawned now. Tank Buster? What's that? No, I know I'm old. I don't even hide the fact I'm old. I'm old. Why are we down here? What do you mean why are we down here? We're not prime? Yeah, with like shoulder pains for months. Wake up with pain every day. Definitely in my prime. What's up, Sig? How you doing, man? Let me have Eucopium? Oh, I don't know. I'll let you have it. Sig, what are you worried about, man? What's wrong? Everything okay? Oh, we're not. So today is my setup file. We set up Ninja to 40, so 41. So Ninja's good to go. And then the next file we're setting up is Machinist. So we're just basically we're doing as scheduled. We haven't died yet, so we're good. Yeah, we're good. We are not on the Ellie floors. We have not pulled an Ellie or Willow, so we're good. Groundskeeper will do his normal stuff, so he's gonna do a Tank Buster into a... I think he eventually does a Circle AoE. But, again, things I don't really... Oh, it's a point blank. It's pretty fast, actually. But, nothing too crazy. Steal. What is Ellie for? Excuse you? No, I think there's a Willow version, you know. I break down 41 to 60 multiple rolls now. Nice. I still haven't forgotten when you can't get past 1 to 30 in like 3 days or something like that. Also, notice the time. Usually we are pretty speedy, but this is a deep dungeon that will take a little bit more time out of you. So just bear that in mind. It's going to be a lot slower than Heaven on High. But, you know, just, you know, when you go into it, just understand that it'll just consume and be slower, but it's alright. Keep the patience. This one in particular, this is a deep dungeon that really when you know, you know. And if you're kind of knowing, you know, you encounter something, you know how to handle them, it will really help you in the long run. So just keep that in mind. This is where videos like this will be helpful if you want to kind of go about this journey in a little bit more of a speedier fashion. So, like I said, you're going to definitely see me pull one of everything, so you can see everything in real time. And hopefully be prepared. And hopefully you can at least get through the lower floors without too much of a problem. 130 aged you drastically. IS new deep dungeon. Once I get done with my crafting relics, I'll start tackling it. Agent, hopefully by that time I'll have this ready to go, and you can check out if you want to do Machinist in particular. So, I got you, dude. And any other questions though, I shall answer. I'll go this way. So that's a dead end room. the screens. But I think I'm in the middle of like multiple rooms here, so the Orthohunter, very similar to the ones in Heaven on High. Pretty much for the most part, they're just gonna melee you. They'll do a little bit of a double attack. I'm not sure if these guys haste. There is a version of this in the next set that do haste themselves after about a minute, and they will use their double attack way more frequently, which becomes a bit of a DPS problem because they will do a lot of damage. But for the most part, these are pretty tame, and since you're an actual DPS, you don't really have to worry too much about stuff like that. Because you're probably killing it before it even gets dangerous. Yeah, it has by far the most clears. It's just far and away the most clears, and that's one reason we're doing the video on this job, because of that. And we'll probably do a couple, maybe like one per roll, I don't know, see how I feel, but at the very least we're gonna start with this one. Machinist Boo. I know, Sig, I know, but I gotta appease the populace, you know. Alright, so they just do that double attack off commonly, but these will upgrade into future more difficult enemies that look exactly the same. We're just checking the rooms. Ah, let's do this one. This bad boy does have a tail sweep. I'll try to demonstrate that. So you'll do a conal here. We're gonna be careful about the behind. Be very fast about this. There's the behind. Also, no telegraph. It's a fast one. I may have to show that one more time because of the I didn't have a good angle there. It's also a tricky AoE because it used it and we didn't quite see it fast enough. So let me just get a good angle here. No, he died already. That's okay. We'll probably pull another one to showcase it. The Nier Automata tracks came out for theater. Oh! Ooh, nice. Okay. I guess I have to wait till the next. Oh no, there's a Sawtooth here. Okay, we'll pull it so I can showcase that move again. Alrighty, let's get a good angle so we can show you. So it's gonna do a front conal first. If we are behind, only if you're behind, you will do this tail sweep. So do this tail sweep here. Watch the AoE; it's faster. That'll be a common theme for a couple enemies. Where if you just so happen to park behind them, they will do a tail sweep, elbow drop, so on and so forth, and that is a one-shot. So for a little bit of a safety play, what you probably want to do for most enemies is just to stand on the side of them, not behind them, to prevent from that happening. Now, for a job like this, it's probably more likely for you to be able to stand on the side of them. Melee, I think sometimes you might get into a habit of going behind. But yeah, just keep that in mind, that there is a couple enemies that do trick you with that ability, and it has killed many, myself included, on the higher floors. Keep that in mind. Gilded Creed. Any particular hiccups I might come across if I were to attempt this Sage or Scholar? They're the only things I know how to play. Time is the only one, Gilded, but even a lot of the healers, I mean, all the healers are cleared, even Astro. So, that's one thing that, you know, don't feel too bad if that's your main job. You know, you'll have some good success into it. Now, the only real thing is going to be time. If I didn't say that, time is just going to be your problem. So, you know, you want to kind of apply certain strategies to get you to go faster. And one of the big benefits you have, Gilded, on a healer, really something that I'm almost jealous about. It's if you're going to utilize storms. What you can do is you can pull a lot of enemies on you, because you should be able to heal through them. You can pull a lot of enemies, DOT a lot of them, and as long as you use the storm within 30 seconds, they will all die directly after the storms because of the DOT tick. That's a huge benefit for a healer to handle the storms a lot more cleaner than some other jobs. So that's one thing that you can do, but You know, you want to think about potentially multi-pulling, pulling like 2 enemies, maybe 3 enemies, to kind of speed up a little bit, although that's not necessary, but it is a thing that you can try to do. Lethargy can be used for practice, that's right. I think a video like this, if we're going to kind of showcase everything, I mean, a Lethargy may be not as important. I mean, if you're watching the video, it's there. Although I will say that some people will probably watch the video before they go in and not have the video up while they're climbing, although sometimes people do. So then if you're in that kind of boat, then Lethargy would be good to kind of help you out, to kind of get some understanding of certain enemies. If you're going in blind, Lethargy is tremendously useful to at least help you out, to teach you some of the mechanics that are there. But for sure, Lethargy is very good to kind of help you get through if you're going through an unknown scenario. Playing with what you find is the most important, exactly. And getting the most out of your protomanders is the key to victory for a lot of jobs, but healer in particular. Landmines are very good on healer if you're used to them or you've done them before, so something to keep in mind as well. Yeah, that's what it is. It's just all about finding a way to go faster, because you're probably not gonna die gilded outside of mechanics that you're not sure about. If you just stand in AoEs, then that's just kind of, you know, whatever. Like, it's just a learning lesson, but the climate itself is really up to just how to use stuff, so. Alright, I gotta get another enemy with me. This is a pretty slow floor, though. We've been here for a while. But that is the nature of the 1 to 20. We're also single pulling. If we did AoE pulls, this would be way faster, but... And again, we're kind of showcasing the normal clear, not really a more simpler, a more complicated clear. You know, we demonstrated on floor 3, I think, how to do a big pull. You can do that every single pull if you want to. It will cost you a little bit more potions, but it's an option. If you want to do that, you want to go faster, please, by all means. But this is what we're going. I'm gonna go use Steel for this boss. Again, it's gonna be similar to the 20 boss, where it does do quite a bit of damage to you. So if you use a Steel, you get to mitigate a little bit of it, so you don't use as many potions. You will need potions here, by the way. We're fighting the cloning node. Now, I'm going to try to explain this. Some people had issues with this earlier, so we'll try to explain it as best as I can in as many iterations as possible so you can understand it. There was a way that I figured it out that kind of helped me a lot. Basically, this guy's just going to do line AoEs and auto-attacking. We're going to have tethered lines. Essentially, the lines are going to create conals on the ground. So a good place to stand next to each dragon, and that's where the conals come from. Now, one thing you want to be looking for to be able to survive this is to not stand in something that's north-south. See this north-south right here? That's a bad place. You want to come over here, which is a little bit of a cleaner spot there, okay? You don't want to be standing in a line that's north-south of each other because they are going to collide and they're going to be, they're going to hit each other. So you just got to stay away from the things that are north-south. That's like the simplest way to at least handle this one. Now this one, in this forward position, I'm going to stand over here, which is kind of the south spot, and we're going to rotate counterclockwise. We avoid this one, move a little bit here, you'll have an opening here, nice and simple. We'll kind of try to explain it one more time, because that pattern will be a set pattern every single time. There is kind of a randomized pattern that happens every other time, but that specific pattern will be consistent each and every time. So we'll get a random pattern here. Again, we're going to be making sure that we don't stand in the line that's front and back of each other. Getting a lot of lines come up here. So this is a bad spot. This is a bad spot. So we want to stand over here because we won't get any colliding. There's your safe spot. Now we're going to get that pattern again that we just had, which is the set pattern. So now I'm going to go all the way over to the right side over here. You can probably do it on the left side too. We stand where this second line shows up a little bit delayed. We'll adjust, and then we rotate to clockwise, counterclockwise, sorry. And then that's the opening. Consistent. Again, you can probably do it on the other side, but that's the side that I'm used to. And that's the gist of this fight. Pretty much what you're going to be dealing with in this fight. Line AoEs, etc. Keep your potions rolling. I definitely would, again, suggest a demi-clone here. However, the Onion Knight is a bit important, because we will use it for the 99 fight. so I'm not going to use it on this particular one. If I had a Dogo, I would, but not a 99. I'm going to get the random lines here. So this is a good spot because we have nothing in front of us. So we'll take it over here. Phase 1. We're going to get the set pattern coming in next. I mastered the bulwark. Hell yeah. So right here, we're going to go over this side. Again, standing on this line, pretty much. The second line that shows up is a good spot. Just a small adjustment here. Go counterclockwise. Boom. I like this better than the one I did before Sig. I forgot who I was watching. Maybe it was you, Sig, or someone else that I picked up this one. But I had another strategy that was okay, but it was a little bit tighter. That gives a lot more leeway, though, so it's kind of nice. Keeping my potion going. Hey Raven, thanks for the follow, I appreciate it. It seems unusual, but I love Une clones for this boss. Oh yeah, no, I mean, it's a nice insurance. So this would be a good one, because there's nothing back in front. The other ones are actually bad, so we're coming over here. Boom. Thanks for that follow, the Sergeant boss man. We're going to the right side over here. Again, where that line shows up, we have to make a small adjustment to our left once the AoE comes out. And then we go to the right, counterclockwise, into the open spot. Consistent. So hopefully Hunter, that made a lot of sense. Hopefully I gave enough of an explanation of what to look out for, how to avoid, where to stand. But more importantly, more like, you know, not just standing in the right spot, but kind of understanding why you're standing in the right spot. So okay, cool. Because I think that's more important to me. I think there's nothing wrong with learning something and just kind of following the motions. But I think it's a better learning experience when you understand why you're standing where you're standing. Hopefully that gets explained. Because then you can kind of be a little creative. Maybe you find a better spot. Maybe something clicks a little bit better and you like standing here instead of over there. I've always been so interested, by the way, with like other people doing other ways of doing it. Like sometimes it does create just something that's just happens to be better. Like, you know, every strategy that kind of does evolve and happen with any of these bosses, it allows for some creativity. You know, there's not really one necessarily correct answer. There's one wrong answer, but there's not necessarily one correct answer. Whatever works best for each one, choose. Alright, I need to hit the restroom before we continue the next 20. So I shall BRB. We shall play some background music while I'm away. And let's see what we got. Speaking of Nier, let's play this one. Many wrong answers? I mean, the wrong answer is standing in an AoE. That's the wrong answer, right? So, alright, 21 to 30. Everyone's favorite floors, my favorite floors. That is sarcasm. I hate these floors. These floors are dumb. They're slow. They're annoying. And one of the reasons why these floors are slow is because the rooms, in particular, are tight. So there's a lot of rooms that are not a lot of surface area to walk through, and the respawns are still 1 minute. So a lot of times, you're going to be dealing with just just respawns all over the place, and it just takes longer and longer to get through the floors. So what we'll be doing a little bit, we will actually be going a little heavy on the protomanders to use, but, you know, since this run will be going to the end, it'll kind of showcase how it's not too bad to actually do that. So this floor in particular, go little aggressive on your protomanders, giving you a little bit of practice of getting used to that. Do not feel bad about doing that. Don't empty out. I would not suggest emptying out. And also one protomander I would not suggest using too much right now is the Dread, because the Dread can be very rare. But think about Flights, Lethargies, Storms. We haven't actually picked up a Storm, but Strikes and Steals as well. Those are going to be good ones to utilize in this set in particular to just make this a little bit more faster. So, something to keep in mind on the thing. But we'll try to go through this as swiftly as we can, as well as still trying to pop everything. So we're going to pull in Ortho Giant. Ortho Giant will just do, I believe, a Lion AoE into a Clonal AoE. Not too bad. Some of the enemies will get a little spicy up here, and we will definitely talk about the ones that will get spicy. If he even does anything. Exhaust, he just does a Lion AoE. A little bit slow into the rotation, but that's okay. Next up will be... Oh, we're gonna do Lethargy, so that's gonna be nice. So that'll help us a little bit on Prog. This Orthos Demolisher, he'll do a line AoE into a self-destruct under 30%. Because it is Lethargy, you'll see everything showing up, so that's a Salt Cannon. Salt Cannon is a line AoE, that's a lot faster, obviously, under normal circumstances. And then, it'll get into low HP. I think it'll do it, we'll see. And there is Self-Detonate, although I killed it, so we'll give it another chance to do it. We still have a couple more floors for that to show up. Get rid of these Shines. Oh my god, holy moly, holy moly patrol. Ah yeah, so we have the Soup Ballistic, says in chat. Very annoying type of room, that can cause a little bit of problems with line of sighting. But, none of the more circumstances, I mean, it is what it is, so... Is this the plan going forward, Tuesday, Double Ice? Yes, for at least 3 weeks, Hollow. It might change to Thursdays, but for now it'll be Tuesday setup soon. Good to see you, by the way. Alright, so that handles those enemies. We got a Wyvern. What a Wyvern would do is it'll give you poison. It'll do Scythe Tail, and it'll just do a Spike Tail and do a little bit of a stacking poison if it gets it up. It is Lethargy. It's not too dangerous unless you had a couple that you pulled and you're managing like 3-4 stacks of poison. But if you're doing single pulls like myself, this is not going to be too big of an issue. It is a 30-second poison, but it won't be too bad of a problem to deal with. Everything here is sight with the exception of the Ortho Demolisher which is proximity. So these are the ones you want to have a little bit of priority to kill, because if they're in your way, you have to kill them. Something to keep in mind. Also, again, the respawns are 1 minute, so there's a good chance that you pull something that is not in Lethargy if you use the Lethargy early, so just be careful about that. Right now, we've had at least 2 respawns in this floor. So you'll do a self-destruct here. Alright, so self-detonate, it's a lot faster than what this is, and the AoE of that is very large. However, you can line of sight it. It is okay to line of sight it. So just something to keep in mind. You wanna backload your damage on those specific ones, so that you burst it down when it's doing its self-destruct, and not burst it in the opener when it's not doing anything special. Something to keep in mind. Then the State Police. That's first floor with Strength on. Again, highly recommend keeping Strength going through here, just to make this a little bit better. We're gonna pull the Bro. We're gonna pull the Bro. It's gonna open with a Gaze, which is a Paralyze, and then it will completely follow up with a Body Slam. So it's a little bit of a 1-2 combo here. A lot of these enemies in particular, you'll see a couple versions of them. They will do very similar. They'll do a Gaze into a Body Slam. Although the debuff that happens is going to be variants depending on which one. Some of them will just paralyze you, and some of them will petrify you, which is not a great idea to be hit by paralysis, so be careful. This is going to do a Salt Cannon. Thanks for that follow, by the way. I'm a cutie bear. Welcome in. Again, self-destruct is coming in, so we want to be careful here and make sure we respect the damage. Self-detonate. A lot faster than it was the first time. Checking the chests. Checking we got the strength back. Cool, we're gonna keep that going. And cool, we're gonna keep that going. Didn't need to fight that, cool. We're gonna fight this one, however. And you're gonna see how fast the Spike Tail is. It does cast it fast enough that it can reapply the poison. So it can get a stacking poison. So ideally try not to pull these back to back. If you have to deal with them, at the very least. So you can at least have some time for that poison to get away. One stack is not too bad. 4 stacks, not too great. It's gonna be shown. We're gonna pull the Bro. I can't shoot. I'm gonna go get the chest first. Boom, boom, boom. Rip. I'm gonna heal. Pull. Again, the Gaze are coming in first. We can get behind him because it is a conal front. You'll see it by the animation. And then it'll be a Body Slam combination. Designed to kill. Something else just spawned here and just aggro. As mentioned, I'm gonna use a flight to keep it at 2, just so we can kind of get through this floor a little bit better. Since this is a tough floor to get through, the tough set to get through. Once we open the exit, we will be doing the flight. And you don't have to worry about it, they're pretty common enough. Flights are pretty common, lethargies are pretty common. So don't feel like you're gonna miss out, especially if you have a good habit of checking chests and checking rooms. If you're not, that, you know, you can compile to missing protomanders, but we're gonna be checking every room as best as we can on this file. We do the flight here to kind of mitigate the amount we need to kill. It does reduce the amount you need to get off the floor by half-ish. So if you needed 4, you need 2. If you need 8, you need 4, kind of that thing. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to explore a little bit more before we do our first pull. There's a nice little mimic over there to say hello. That is on the bronze chest. We can interrupt it like normal. So we're just going to wait for that opportunity to come in, and then we will do it. That's the specialty of Machinist right there, to be able to do that type of... to get rid of, to not have to deal with it. So I'm going to try to sneak here, see if I can get around the Wyvern without doing aggro. That is a negative. I got the aggro. Feels bad. Okay, I'm going to kill the Wyvern first, and then I'm going to pop the Strike. Storms! We got our first Storms. That is from the Mimic. Very cool. As you can see, just at about 5 seconds again, we applied it, so that's why you want to be careful with this one. It does add 1,000 damage per tick, so you don't want to have more than that. Your healing potion heals you for 5k, I believe. So, okay, the Ortho Knight is probably one of the most dangerous things outside of one other enemy. What you want to be careful with is it will do Electromagnetism, which is a big AoE, but it will follow in with Head Spin. The Head Spin is pretty much a one-shot on the DPS. You want to be far away from it. Now, I believe Surecast, or rather, Arm's Length can save you from the pull-in, but I would highly recommend you just get the heck out of there and just get out of the AoE. And if you saw, the AoE is very fast. That enemy should be okay to handle one at a time. However, if you get multiple, that's where it can get very complicated, so be very careful about that. But full respect on the Ortho Knight, and big respect, especially if you have to deal with more than one of them for some terrible, horrible, ridiculous reason. They're like I think they're the DF killer, not gonna lie. Leading cause of death by a duty finder. Alright. We're gonna be seeing those knights quite a bit. A couple floors, probably about 4 or 5 floors, so just be aware of them. That was a flighted floor, by the way. We get like 5 kills. Alrighty. Affluence. I will use the affluence to keep my chests going. Bigger actions, good stuff. For parties, that's true. Yeah, that's also true. Alright, we have Ortho Droid. They will shoot from afar, but you will see the AoE. The AoE you're gonna see coming up here is the same AoE that shoots from you from afar. Unlike its Heaven on High counterpart, you will get a chance to dodge it. So that's all it does. It just does auto-attacking and the AoE. Now we have another Ortho Knight. We have a little bit of a better position so you can see what it does. Alright, so Electromagnetism is going to come out. It's going to be away, far away, because it's going to pull you in. It is a pretty big AoE and a fast AoE. So that's why that one's a little bit dangerous, because you do not have a lot of time to react. You have to know it exists. That AoE is from the droid that is behind me, so that's how it looks like. So you know how it looks like there. Lethargy is going to help. Gonna pull another Ortho Knight. Again, get the heck away out of here. Oh, it's Lethargy. So we'll have some time. See how big the AoE is. If you're dead center, man, and that thing goes off, you cannot run away fast enough if you don't see the AoE, so something to really bear in mind. It'll do head spin next, and I don't want to be anywhere near that. Or it's going to skip it and try to kill me. Okay, done. We'll hopefully not have to run into that problem in the future. We'll do this one. Okay, cold gaze, I'll just be away from that. So this is again this Lethargy. It's a really good tool to help you learn, to help you see some mechanics. You can prepare for them when you have to fight them in normal speed. Oh, that is not a Lethargy enemy. He is going at normal speed. Check, check. This is Lethargy. Look how long it's taking to kill things, and the respawns are happening very fast. Alright, let's get on out of here. Next floor is Affluent, so we can try to pull some chests. And we're good to go. Halfway through. Alright, let's see. Okay, we have a dragon. This one's gonna be a little similar to the ones we were fighting before. It'll do a line AoE, a little bit bigger line AoE. Chilling Aspiration, and it'll do a little bit of a circle AoE directly after, I believe. Maybe not directly after. But definitely be careful on that. Steel, I will use that on my way out of here. Excuse me, robot. Robot. Aw, you little piece of robot. Why is call you a robot? Ah, we have the swingers! Alright, so let's do the steel. So these guys are in solo, they're manageable, in a party, in a duty finder, deadly creatures. So let's check this bronze chest first, see what's in there. No, okay. So they are gonna do Swinge. Their Swinge is a fast telegraph. It doesn't see it at the first time it casts it, so you have to be prepared first. You just go behind. Watch the AoE. It's happening. It goes out, and it's fast. Look at how fast that is. That is a one-shot for DPS. So you just gotta know it's available, you gotta pay attention. That's its first move. It can use it again. But the only reason you'd worry about it using it again is if you've kept it alive for too long. For whatever reason. Maybe you did a luring trap or something. So just be careful with that. So the Bronze Chest, I'll trade. Hello, Mimic. Hello, hello. How you doing? How you doing? No, 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 no. I will get ready for the infatuation coming up here. Which we will interrupt right there. Alright, Dead Mimic, and a Silver Chest, but it's probably gonna heal for it. Okay, no luck. Alright, is this the exit? Nope, not yet. Where's the chest? I'm not gonna get to that chest, I'll skip it. You have to probably fight through a whole bunch of things to get over there. Alright, nothing new on this set, we pulled everything up till now. That's a strength, I'm gonna re-strength. I'm gonna check the silver first. Boom! Let's re-strength. Also sneak the intuition. Again, respect the electromagnetism. Get far away, please, for the love of God, believe me. Good. And I'll do head spin right after. Alright, let's go to the next floor. I'll do another affluence to see if we can pull more chests. Minus 25. Sure, I'll do that on the next stream. Let me just swap my human body. What am I, Finn? Remove the... oh my god. EOS. We have a Dread over here. My current... well, that's actually the attack Dread. But my current rule for Dreads right now, if I see a Dread on the first to third floor, more than likely I'll try to go for it. And we'd like to go for it with a Storm. Ideally Witching Storm. Hopefully we'll encounter that in the future set, so I can describe that. For now we'll leave it alone because I only have one Storm, but yeah, we'll handle that in the future. Meantime, I'll keep going pulling. We'll pull the Vice to you. Vice will do basic AoE, but it is going to kill you if you stand in it, so be careful. Now, what is a Dread Beast? A Dread Beast is their special mechanic in Eureka Orthos. It's like a mini-boss. If you kill it, it'll give you one of 3 power-ups, about 10%-ish. Either healing, attack up, defense up. The community basically argues that the regen and the defense are kind of bleh, since things are not really auto-attacking you, and anything that's really hitting you, it's a one-shot or it's doing, you know, not that great damage. So, in reality, you can kind of skip most of them. Now, the last one, the attack, even if it's a 10% attack bonus versus strength being 30%, you're still going 10% faster. It does give a 30-minute bonus, though, so the bonus is kind of nice for a long duration. This is one reason why I'm skipping it, is because I'm pretty much getting too close to the boss, so I'm not going to really pull, you know, the advantage of the 30 minutes of the buff, not to mention, again, I'd have to use protomanders to make it happen. Now, worth noting is, it is a sight-based enemy. And it hits very hard. So you don't want to mess around with this thing and accidentally pull it. I will be playing it very carefully because it will one-shot me and the run is just pure over. So we're gonna kind of watch it a little bit right now. I'm gonna keep an eye on it to see where I can move past it. Right now, it would be good if it doesn't turn around. It did not, so we're gonna go past it right now, take advantage of its movement. Again, it is sight, trust. We're gonna make sure I don't hit ricochet here. Okay, I got the Vice, it's fine. And we are safely past the thing. And the dragon only does a line AoE, not a circle AoE. The previous version did, not this one. And that's how you get around Dread Beasts. They're very dangerous, like I said, they can one-shot you. I mean, they can nearly one-shot a tank, just as for perspective. So they're definitely gonna one-shot a DPS. Just like, boom, smack, you're dead. So definitely take care of them if you're not killing them. And again, hopefully we will have an opportunity to kill one in the future. Kill the Mimic. Again, if you kind of prefer not to deal with this, you can just, like, not touch broad chests at all. Which is really not a bad strategy. So, something to keep in mind. I thought I saw a dragon coming at me. I moved over here. Wait, oh, it did come at me. Oh, I didn't see it. Oh. Okay, I'm gonna witch in here. I actually didn't even see the dragon the entire time. So I avoided that AoE without knowing I was avoiding the AoE. Okay. Oh, is why I hate these floors in particular, because of... Oh, and there's a respawn! And it already respawned, nice. So that's a respawn again. Swinge is coming out. Playing it very carefully. Yep, and this is what can happen, unfortunately, these floors, is that things just respawn like near you, on top of you, and it just becomes an endless floor. One reason why, again, using protomanders are a good idea to kind of help you go faster, we're going to avoid swinge there. Because you don't want to hang around these plays too long, because you will get penalized for it. I'm going to probably use another flights to kind of just help me out a little bit with time. Not that I'm timing out, I just want to get off these floors more specifically. Classic stun lock here, right? Wait. Okay. Checking this last room, so there's any chests. There is, and I think I can get to it safely without an aggro. Glad something just respawned right on top of me. I don't know how the hell you saw me, but you saw me, so there's that. Okay, you're looking in this direction, so I'm gonna back out. There's a silver chest here, so I'm gonna go over there to check it. Got around the dragon, cool. See if I can get to the exit pretty safely. I'm gonna have to probably wait here. Hey, Yabi, good morning, or good afternoon. Gonna take some risk here through the room. Okay, good. I will use a flight to go a little bit faster. Hey, Flan Kitty, how you doing? Welcome. Alright, so we explained everything up till now. I think we're gonna start seeing some, I think the turtles show up here, but I'm not sure. We will see them. I'll explain them. Switching. And Fuchon. Oh, we didn't explain the Wyvern. Actually, the Wyvern we did not explain. The Wyvern will do a large, quick AoE that will be a vuln down. So I'm gonna stand around here so you can watch it. Oh, I'm sorry, the Voiver, whatever. The Voiver. Go hang around here. It should do it by the time I am done with this thing, or by the time I'm out of this room. Here it is. So that's a vuln down. If you did the previous deep dungeons, it's kind of similar to like the apes doing their vuln stuff. There's a 30-second vuln down though. So just be a little bit careful. That can kind of add up over time, but it's not too dangerous overall. We'll also pull one so I can show you guys what it does. So we're gonna pull one right now. I believe it just does a circle AoE if I remember correctly. It'll do whip crack, which is just like a tank buster. I guess it doesn't do anything. I don't think it does anything in terms of telegraph, so it's okay. But the more annoying part is the fact that it does give you golden stacks. So you have to be careful with that. That was a flighted floor, that's why we're going out of here right now. Just, Purity, very good. You get across. Wait, line AoE coming out. Definitely don't want to get caught with that. You gotta watch my ricochet, because we don't want to clip the Beist. See the room real fast. And I get that chest without problem. That's a negative, so I'm just gonna go, wait for the Beist to move he did. And off to the next floor. Found the trap. Good thing nothing will get me, though. Got to EO 61 ton. Oh, nice! Cool. Like, as in you got there and still going kind of thing. Parked at the file for another day. Alright, so be careful here. I can actually check this chest real fast. My HP was at 50%. The silver chest do 70% of your max HP, so I do not want to check this. The moment I pop out of the owl, I want to make sure I heal. So we'll heal. I'll wait a little bit. And then I will check. If that exploded right after, I would definitely be dead, so we have to give that a little bit of attention. Okay, we have those guys, which I believe are going to do a large conal. Similar to the previous ones, you probably don't want to stand behind them, so I will not. People sleep together. Mislight the drills, we're doing one. Now, I got a little bit comfy Yabi to get back into it. I had to kind of study the content, get used to it. I'm not 100% comfortable with every single thing like I am in the other deep dungeons, but definitely good enough to get consistent. The Kalia will do nerve gas. I believe it'll do something from the back, so I'm just gonna prep to run away from it. It does not. So you just have to be ready for nerve gas. Large tonal AoE. There you go. Dead. Sight, which is nice. Small room. I'm gonna heal after this landmine. And then we're gonna pull this one while we have the opportunity. Get the quick kill on that one. Yeah, not really too risky to do that. That does not look like a fun room. Report to no medicine. Yeah, we'll see if that becomes something I want to do for sure. Maybe. More than likely. Okay, we have the turtle. The dragons more than likely will open with Diamondback. It is interruptible. If it gets it off, it will do a defense thing, but this time it actually opened with Tortoise Stomp, so you want to be careful. And it does Diamondback. If it does that, it will do a defense mitigating ability. So it will reduce all damage, not just physical, not just magical, so you want to watch out for that. Let's see if I can sneak this chest. I'm going to take something with me, but that's okay. I'm going to heal here. I'm going to pop that. Okay. Looking for a Demiclone, that's why I checked it. We'll drag this guy with me, going back. Hopefully nothing else is in my way, which might be possible. Alright, next floor. Right, so almost to the boss, and we'll definitely go through the boss quite a bit. He has some decent mechanics. Actually, she has some decent mechanics. But we'll definitely get there when we get there. Would again recommend having a steel and strength for it, but actually we don't need a steel. We will use the Une Demiclone on it to make that fight a little bit more bearable. I actually, out of a good like consistent basis for myself on my own runs, I will do Demiclones, ideally on 10, 20, 30, and then we'll do it again on potentially 70, 80, 90, and then the final thing at 99. But 10 is only if I even see a Demiclone, and in this case, I would have done one on 20 if I didn't have Onion Knight, because I'll hold the Onion Knight. So there's a couple kind of criteria that I will follow. But those bosses in particular is what I would prefer to Demiclone because of their kind of just overall just annoying parts of them, essentially. So, is it only silver chests that have a chance to explode? That is correct. Only silver chests. Yes. Only silver chests have the chance to explode. I guess they don't have a tail spell. Gonna pull this one. Opening this chest. Yay! Got a strength for the boss. It's pretty good. I don't need to steal for the boss because we'll have Une for the boss. Renada. Oh, there's another chest here. Lethargy, I'll use it now. You see how slow this is going to be? Oh, I just missed the dragon that just respawned. Feels bad. But he gave me a space that I can get around here. Alright, now again, we're gonna watch for Diamondback here. Most times I'd say it uses it first. Did it right there. Lindris, thanks for the follow, I appreciate that. And beginning, thanks for that follow, welcome in. Alright, so we've managed to pull everything at least once in this set. Again, when we're doing Machinist, since we're setting it up as a guide, I will really make the effort to pull everything at least once so you can see most of the mechanics, if not all the mechanics, and we'll try to go it over. This Deep Dungeon in particular will benefit off of knowing what it does. Unlike the previous two, you can know what it does, but you still have to figure out how to deal with it. This one, It's pretty much when you know what it does, all you need to do is just dodge the mechanic. So it does make it a little bit easier in terms of that. Knowledge is certainly power when it comes to this deep dungeon in particular. So we definitely want to showcase everything that is available. And if you were to encounter it for some reason, well, you have the info somewhere here. You can't speedrun. This one is tough to speedrun, Yami. This one is tough to speedrun. So we're gonna pop Une to make this just a little bit better, a little bit easier. The Demiclones are semi-common, so I'm not really concerned about going to 1 here. What Une is gonna be doing is she can cast Stone Skin and heal me under 75%. Also, how the Demiclones work, since it's our first use of it, the Demiclones last the entire floor. So if I use one in 29, the Demiclone will hang around for the entire floor until we get to the next one. There's no timer, we can't click them, we can't target them, they don't take damage, they exist to just assist. And they are very useful in a lot of cases, especially for certain bosses. So we're going to be using it on this case. Tiamat is a pretty fun boss. There is a little bit of RNG with this boss, but not too bad. So we'll go over their mechanics. It's a pretty scripted fight. Creature Darkness will create purple dragon heads at the where Tiamat is. There are going to be 2 open spots. So you just gotta stand between them on this way. I don't have to worry about my heals because Une will take care of me. As long as we're here, if we get hit with one, we will take a vuln up. Now Wing is outer, because it'll do it by its wings, so you want to be in the middle here. Later, probably it'll do what's called Tail. Also, wherever it does Wing or Tail, it'll do Dragon Heads on the opposite, wherever those things spawn. Now Mega Flare is the only thing that's probably going to be RNG, as far as I can tell. So you just want to be standing in an open spot that exists. Also, there are going to be 3 heads that spawn after every rotation. And the 3 heads are going to attack your previous position. So the heads are going to spawn, and that's where it's going to be over there. A little bit of danger here, but we're going to move. So that's how you manage that. Now, this next mechanic is a trailing AoE. I like to kind of keep this as simple as possible, so I'll park myself on one side of the wall, and then I'll move across all the way to the opposite end, and the AoEs will not get me on the opposite end of the arena, so I can stay right here, and we're good. At the same time, every AoE that spawns is going to have another purple head that is going towards your previous location. So it makes it a little bit better to make them all point over there. Tail's in the middle. So that's Wing and Tail. Also, you gotta watch the Dragon Heads, which I completely forgot. And you just dodge them that way. And then Creature of Darkness, we will find the open spot. And it's kind of rinse and repeat from this point. We've seen every single mechanic. So that's how we kind of handle that. So that's the gist of this fight. Tail's coming in. You just want to be looking for Wing or Tail. And adjust accordingly. If you get hit with one of these, it won't be too bad. Also bear in mind you have the Dragon Heads coming in, so just follow the one that's going away from you. After all that happens, you will get a Mega Flare coming in. Oh, you gotta get this first, sorry. I think we'll get another Wing Tail after this. So again, we're gonna go across the field, just keeping it straight and linear so it doesn't really clutter the floor with purple heads. In a solo, this is actually a better fight, because in a party, even with 2 people, the heads are RNG with who they pick. So it can really toss around the heads and their directions in a lot of different spaces, unless you for some reason are standing atop each other, but it's a 30 boss, so you're not really going to care that much. Wing happened, and the dragons are on the outer, so we go and just kind of position ourselves to avoid the AoE. Now it's going to be Mega Flare. I like to kind of stand in a corner here, to kind of keep the purple heads a little bit more under control. Ideally, we'll just be going in one location, but again, these circles are kind of AoE, these open spots, RNG. So it's a little bit hard to really just kind of stand in one spot. Avoid it here. Okay, good. We got some coming over that location, so I'm going to move away from that. And I'm going to go this way. And so the whole right side is pretty clear. I'm going to go this side. I'm going to position myself so I can park the AoE on the opposite side of the wall, since I'm mobile. And then we go across the map. That's how we handle that. So it's a pretty active fight. It's a pretty fun fight for a 30 boss. It does kind of keep you on your toes a little bit. You can afford some mistakes and get hit with some AoEs, but it's mostly just kind of honestly, it's really just a focus check. Like the purple heads are not moving very fast. You have a lot of space to move around. You just don't want to make a significant error. We're dodging the heads over here. We're gonna find the open spot with the Creature of Darkness. It is... There's one on the left side, there's one over here, so we're gonna go over here. Again, Une's really helping out here because she's allowing me to just heal, to just do damage without having to worry about heals or potions, because she's healing me. Watch the opening in the head, follow the one behind. We're gonna get the circle AoE, so I'm gonna position myself on a wall over this way. Right there. Almost there. AoE plants, we go across the map to keep it simple. This is kind of what you want to do on melee also, so you can keep uptime. We are Machinist and it doesn't matter. And that is Tiamat clone. Good job. Hardest boss not to get a random invuln. It's true. I think Mega Flare is the one that causes the problems there too, because of the way the AoEs are random. But it's not too bad. You get hit with it, it's not too bad. All right, that's 30. So that's 1 to 30. It is not a fan favorite of the community, that's for sure. I think 1 to 30 is something that people just hate going through. It's tedious. For you to go faster, you have to play riskier. That could get fun, but for some people, I mean, risky is too risky. So for today, on this one, we kind of played it a little bit more, I would say the common way of doing it, where you're keeping it low risk, you're just going through kind of one at a time. It will take longer, but look, I mean, you know, if you wanna reduce the amount of attempts, that could be a way to do it. I do kind of encourage a little bit of, like, you know, doing some bigger pulls and everything, going a little aggressive on the protomanders because it will help out. But it's alright. We're gonna go right into the next set. No ad break, no nothing. We'll just hop right into 31. This is where a lot of things will start to get a little bit more harder. I would say if you're a veteran of Heaven on High, and you've done Heaven on High before, a lot of times 31 to 40 is a floor where it becomes hard to speedrun. But in general, the enemies are not too complicated. Like, it doesn't ramp up per se. It's like I would say the gauge kind of starts high, gets a little bit lower, and then in here kind of goes up a little bit. I would say this one kind of stays on par. Like, the enemy mechanics are a little bit more complicated. The boss will be a little bit more complicated, but I wouldn't say it's like a big jump of difficulty. But again, here, knowledge is power. If you know how things handle, this will definitely help you. If you're gonna go into this blind for whatever reason, a lot of the enemies here can be a little bit tricky if you don't know what they're doing beforehand. So we'll definitely explain as we go along. Let's hop on in. A lot of people kind of consider this a recovery floor, where like they're using a lot of protomanders in like the 1 to 30, and then they use this floor to kind of make stuff back a little bit. So play's a little bit chill. But we'll go through and explain it all, and especially the boss, that's for sure. Bitching. Alright, we have our favorite Shopti. They are the classic Shopti, but they do actually everything that you think they would do. They're going to open with Death's Door, but it's not as fast as it has been in the previous Deep Dungeons. So there's a little bit more time to dodge that. You can assume that will kill you. After that, it will do a tonal. Right there. Now, this other one I just pulled, it will do an AoE like it just did. I did it by accident because I did a chainsaw. Now, if there's actually an enemy nearby... Actually, let me just demonstrate this. If there's an enemy nearby, it will buff the enemy with a 1 minute attack buff. So I'm just gonna kind of pull something a little bit closer so you can see it. I'll pull this one just so it can happen. I don't think it's interruptible. Now, the attack bonus is not, like, a tremendous thing. There it is. Tailwind. It's gonna buff its buddy over there. It is a 1 minute attack buff. It's not that big of a deal. It is going to be noticeable, but it's not a terrible thing. Just something to know that if you're fighting these, it's not a bad idea to fight them solo, not next to something, so you don't run into that problem. Especially if you have a couple, like multiple kind of like, you know, floating around all at the same time. So those are your first two pulls right there. Orthoiron Salian. I hate these names, dude. Also, I'm dying, so I need to heal myself. Okay. Also, definitely worth noting here is the respawns are now like 10 minutes. They're not going to be 1 minute respawns. It's going to feel... These floors are going to feel a lot better because you're not dealing with the constant things just coming back at you trying to kill you. So, it's a nice feeling. Sneaking around here to try to get to this chest. And... pop! Safety. Now, the Ortho Bug is probably the one that I would suggest to not pull as much as possible. However, the only problem is that it is proximity. And the one reason why it's not really great to pull, it's mostly because it doesn't do any telegraphs, it just does double attacks, and it heals itself, so it's kind of just really annoying in that department. But sometimes you have to pull it. Also worth noting that the silver chests will be starting to be mimics here. So 1 to 30, if you open the bronze chest, there's a chance that it can be a mimic. That is no longer applicable, and they now move to silver chests. So bronze chests never will be a mimic ever again for the rest of the run, unless you start back to 0. But now silver chests will be in the bracket up until 60. So just be careful with that one. However, on these sets, I would definitely recommend not skipping any silver chests, because you would really like to get the demi-clones. You just have to deal with the mimics if they show up, but thankfully on Machinist, you don't have to worry about that because you have interrupts, and you have kiting, and you have damage, so it's not going to be too big of a deal. And I don't like fighting these Ortho bugs, but I guess we have to. We have storms! So I'm going to pull the storms probably. A nice way to do the storms, we'll kind of demonstrate a way to do it. So we'll pull this Ortho bug, we'll pull this shop here, and then we'll pop the storms, which will drop them all to 1 HP, and then we can just do kind of a quick cleanup, a quick kill there, boom. Also worth noting that an enemy at low HP will not aggro unless it is at about 75%. So this is a sight enemy, and it is not aggroing me. It has to aggro. It has to be at a certain percentage of HP before it can aggro. So 60%, 70%, 80%. There's the aggro. So if you do a storms right away, something to try to take advantage of. Which is something, you know, a little niche situation, but it's kind of worth noting, because you could get an advantage. Someone in the community actually utilized the storm in a treasure room, didn't kill anything, but used it almost like a pseudo-conceal, which was brilliant, because they dropped everything to low HP, and they just snuck right into the exit, because they didn't aggro. You had a couple seconds to be able to just walk through all the enemies without taking aggro, so they used it as like a pseudo-conceal. Smart move. Really, I haven't done that myself, but it's not a bad idea. I would have probably killed things, but hey, look, it works, right? Who's Lethargy? Alright, what do we got here? Check chests. Definitely feels nice in this forest, yeah. No HP regen storms. It is, yeah. And hopefully we get to show that. I hope at least one time we get to show it on stream. That'd be really awkward if we don't, but it is what it is. I mean, I can't force things out of deep dungeon. I play with what the game gives me. You get another storms here. That's nice. So I'm gonna probably kill this one, and we're gonna try to position myself to try to do a couple pulls. Now, storms is an interesting protomander. The reason why I'd say it's interesting is because it does open to a lot of interpretation of how to utilize it. Now, I actually gonna steal here to make this a little bit better, because I'm gonna do some bigger pulls. Also, I'm gonna do a safety so I don't hit a trap making this happening, so I'm gonna do a little bit of a bigger pull. There's also a patrol, I think, coming in, so I'm gonna do a fortune here. Pull you. I'm gonna pull you. A lot of these enemies are not gonna be too scary with their AoE, so I'm gonna pull a couple of them, and also the fact that I am doing, I don't even know I don't know what my thought was. But we're not dealing with massive AoEs here. I'm gonna pull a couple here, not too many of them. I'm gonna pull like 6, that should be fine. I'm gonna get closer to the next room. Just in case I need another kill, I'll pull the Ortho Bug. And then we'll try to delete them all within the storms. So, storms right now. Oh, make sure we kill them pretty fast. Come at me. Okay. Everything's dead, and we're already out, so that's good. Again, we have some time before this aggros. 50. 60. It's gonna aggro because I'm gonna get this site. 70. And I'm gonna walk because this is sound. Orthos Spider is sound. Now, I will pull an Orthos Spider, because an Orthos Spider is something that we would like to see. It is one of the ones that could potentially kill people, like the Knights. The Knights are also very dangerous to fight on the previous set, so we'll pull one probably in the next set. And I'll kind of explain why once Okay, we gotta go pick up the storms and off the next floor. Orthos spider. A lot of people are actually kind of annoyed by spiders, terrified by spiders, not like IRL, but like in terms of that specific enemy. Because it does have a little bit of a tricky AoE to it. Count, how was the murder? Hey, good so far. We set up our ninja file earlier. The ninja is good to go. That I think I'm gonna do that first. So Thursday you'll probably expect a ninja attempt clear. And then Sunday, hopefully this goes okay, and we'll continue the live tutorial on Sunday coming up for Machinist, so. Hey Jedi Man, what's up? Hey, thanks for that raid earlier, by the way. I appreciate that. Hope you had a good stream when you came in. Yeah. Let me deal with the Orthos spider right now. Simply because, I don't know, in case we don't see it, I'll pull it. It has a tricky point-blank AoE that is not obvious at the first thing, and I think that's the one that kills most people. It'll be called Particle Collision. I'm gonna use it right about now. So no telegraph, and then fast telegraph. That can kill you and one-shot you. So you need to know that exists. Needle Spear is just like a tank buster. You'll have to get close to use it, but that's all it does. But that is something that you need to really pay attention to, because that can really be bad. That's the worst thing about the spider, is that particle collision. Look how fast that AoE is, dude. You're gonna counter a lot of those coming up. Starting now, man. There are gonna be a number of enemies that will do stuff like that, so you have to be very careful. And this is where that knowledge is gonna be useful. Doing blind fog was tough on this one, because you learned the hard way a couple enemies did of what they do, but it's part of the journey. Alrighty, let's pull another Orthos spider here. And I'm okay with them. Particle collision. Be careful for particle collision. I'm also gonna use another shank to kind of help me out here. And needle space spazzer. Incoming knight. Oh, mirror knight, which we haven't pulled yet, which is good. It is a patrol. It is the bird dudes. First thing he's gonna do is double hex gaze, which I don't know what it does, and I'm not about to find out. Just turn around. It is a 360 gaze, so be around him no matter where. You can see the AoE, followed by a AoE that will 100% kill you as well. I'm pretty sure double hex probably just paralyzes you or something, and will combo into the second attack. So just be careful with that one. Pretty easy patrol. Nothing else that he'll do other than just kind of run around, but you want to make sure that you don't get hit with the AoEs. Nihilus, thanks for the follow. Welcome in. It's a stun. Oh, it's a stun. Hey, Zertha. Zethra, I apologize. Zethra, is that because you got hit with it, or is it because, you know, a friend told you that's what happened? A lot of times it's like, yeah, you know... How do you know it did the thing? Oh yeah, let me tell you. I have this story. Be careful of my ricochet. Double Hexi is a 20-second stun. Woof. Yeah, I've never gotten hit with it, but usually when we're talking about those type of AoEs, they are wombo combos. So the first one traps you and the second one hits you. Unlike Heidi got snapshotted. Oof. Unfortunate. Well. Less for your intel though. You took one for the team, as they say. But for me, I don't know if you did Heaven on High, Zeta, but for me, and what I learned from Heaven on High is to respect all the gazes as much as possible. So like, I see a gaze, I'm turned, and I'm staying turned for like 5 seconds. I don't even care if it's a conal, I'm just running behind it, and I'm turning around, I don't care what it does, so full respect on those, because yeah, I've been burned in Heaven on High multiple times. And I just had, like, imagine there'll be this one time, like, we were talking about this one time before EO came out, like, what happens if there's, like, a mechanic like Shiva? I think Shiva had this thing where, like, there are mirrors, right? So, like, you'd have to, like, position yourself in a certain specific way where even though the gaze was coming from the center, you had to also not face the mirror because they would bounce off the mirror. It'd be so funny if that happens in, like, this content. Died once to Tiger, never again. Yeah, died to Tiger, I died to Gozu, the 50 boss. I've died to the Nagas, which did the Petrify. So yeah, it's just... it just does something to you. You're like traumatized, like PTSD, man. You see gaze, you're just turning like 6 seconds beforehand. Okay, so I have a Storms. I'm gonna pull a couple, but I'm not gonna pull that many because I don't want to do it without the steal. So I'm gonna look for the AoE. That's door. Oh, this is Lethargy. I'm actually gonna probably do a Fortune here to help me out. I don't think I'm gonna do that many though. Lethargy really is a nice combination with Storms because we will have a lot of opportunity to just kill everything a little bit better. So this will be a spicy pull, but this will kind of showcase what we are capable of doing. Essentially, that's what that's for. And since everything is Lethargy, it really makes this a little bit of a nicer deal. Now, the Lamia will do a point-blank AoE called Circle Blade. Naga will do a Petrify into... I think it's just a Petrify. I think it's just like the same Petrify we just mentioned for, I'm not 100% sure. Witching actually makes this a little interesting. I can make this a little safer right now. Gotta watch these AoEs and respect them. I want to wait for everyone to get over here. Okay, now we're going to Storm here. Everything dead. I didn't get any chests though. Feels bad, but that's okay. I'm embarrassingly free to... Oh yeah, Elbow Drop is gonna be one we really have to watch out for, that's for sure. Lethargy Gazes are bad because I still give them the wide berth. Literally waiting for an end of the... Yeah, I've had times, raging, where I'm like turned around for like 2 minutes. Like, okay, I don't need to turn around that much. But you still have the PTSD from those gazes. I have a second file of 91, but it's bricked. But good practice, made a lot of mistakes in the 81 set and on Onra. And learn good practice and warm up pull through fight. Yes, let's go! You better come back and tell me, please. I want to hear that, or jump on Discord and do that. Trusty! Thanks for that follow, I appreciate it. And we go pick up the Storms and move along in our merry way. Bum, bum, ba-da-bum, ba-da-bum. Alright, the next 4 we'll definitely pull some of those other ones that we had dealt with. Hopefully we will get them on video. I hope they don't skip any of them, but it was kind of the first time they're showing up, stuff like that. Serenity, I don't really care about the points. I'm not gonna beat my score, so who cares? Alright, we have a couple new guys to play with. The Orthotor, definitely need to pay attention to him. Because they'll do one thing here, and they'll do one thing in the much later floors, so you have to really pay attention. So, you're dealing with the lower floor one. The first thing they'll do is a swing, which is an AoE around them. No telegraph until the very last second. Swing's coming in. There's the telegraph. Now the next thing they'll do, they'll come at me and do a swipe, which is a front conal. Be away. Very similar to a lot of the other Minotaurs that you see in the dungeon, in other deep dungeons. But their order kind of makes it what's tricky. Naga will do a gaze. You can usually tell what it is. It's a very fast one. That is... I don't know what that does. But just don't get hit with it, please. It probably kills you. It's essentially... Just assume any AoE and telegraph that exists from here on will probably kill you. So just don't leave me like, I should be okay. No. just no. Not in this deep dungeon. Intuition... we'll check the other one first. Iceron, always bad, yep. Banana, that's the exit, and you're looking to the chest, so I'll probably have to pull you. Oh, we'll pull the Lamia so you can see it at normal speed. I'm gonna pull it before Lethargy. So let's pull it right now. So you can see it. Basically, all it does is just attacking and the Circle Blade, which is a point blank. This is probably one of the more tame enemies compared to the other ones. I will now Lethargy, because we have it. 1 minute, 100... Really? I would think it probably just does something worse than that, but I'm about to find out. That's another Lethargy. So there's the slowness of the Lethargy, real nice, love it. gonna pull the Orthotor here, because he is in my way, and also I'm losing the strength. Again, first move is going to be the swing. You'll see the AoE come out. That's the size of it right there. Get some idea. And then it'll do swing right away. I'm sorry, swipe right away. This looks like a 4 room, which is good. My likey. Might be 5. We'll see. It's a 5er. Hey, thanks for always being here, Wall, and I'll catch you next time, man. Have a good sleep. And thanks for the resub, I appreciate that. We're gonna be walking here because the Orthos spiders are sound. Got my dread. Let's go. They are sound, so we can get past them no problem. Let's see what's over here. There is a chest somewhere. We'll check the chest. Got the seal back, nice. There is a Naga coming in, so I'm gonna respect it first. We'll let it go by. Blinding EO, but I saw 140, so I want to watch and see your insight on making 140 faster. It takes forever, and it's not fun to be honest. Pretty prefer. What I would suggest, Sethra, if you're not already checking the YouTube, check my Machinist one that I uploaded, I think, Saturday. It's the newer run that I did. My first Machinist clear. That one I was aiming for points. And I believe I got the speed run on 1 to 30. This one today is a little bit more explanation, so I didn't want to push the envelope in terms of strategy, like going faster and whatnot, because in my opinion, that's not something I would want to like encourage like a newer runner. Like they could do that later, like once they're more advanced. But as a beginner type of thing, like that would be a much more like strenuous, stressful type of way of approaching the content. But that run that I did last week, and it's on Saturday, that's why I was really pushing limits. Like I was pushing for points, I was pushing for speed. So if you want a POV, check that one out. Today was not a good example. I mean, I don't know if like relatively speaking, I'm still going faster than say what you're doing, but I would definitely say I'm not going fast. Like I'm not aiming for speed here. We're going for like more explanation. Now we have a Chimera here that is a proximity enemy. However, it's a very basic Chimera. It'll only do Dragon or Ram's Voice. It won't do Breath, so it'll be a very consistent rotation. So if it does Ram's Voice, it is 100% doing Dragon Voice, unlike its Paladin and Heaven on High versions. It can repeat this if it's alive long enough. That's something to keep in mind. Let's kind of simplify this one. So don't worry too much other than the fact that you have to pull it because it is proximity. Lamia. Probably need to pull. We'll see. We have General Grievous up there, and we have the Ortho Predator. So I'm going to pull General Grievous first, which is the Ortho Ray. This one is very spicy. I'll do a Lethargy here. So it'll do 3 moves. 4 arming, it is behind. Look how big this AoE is. I can't really show you, but this AoE is ginormous! As long as you're behind, you're fine. This is the first thing that ever killed me in this deep dungeon, because it was so fast. Hopefully we'll have an opportunity to showcase how fast it is there, but at least right now you get a demonstration. Its second ability was that kind of tank buster. Its third ability is this one, Atmospheric Displacement, which is a point blank. These are all very fast. But that's the 3 abilities it has. Pretty good, not too bad. But definitely one where if you didn't know what it does, very scary and very tricky to deal with. Next we'll do the Ortho Predator. Ortho Predator is like an upgraded version of the Orthohunter from before. It will do the Tank Buster-ish, like a double attack. At some point though, it will do a haste, and therefore it will do that double attack a lot faster and a lot more frequent. However, with Lethargy, it cannot get the haste on because it can't override the Lethargy. Also, if you have Arm's Length, it should fly to this enemy, and it cannot get the thing up if it's Arm's Length. So it's casting haste, watch it. It'll get it off, but it will not land because it can't override Lethargy. Something worth noting. But normally as a DPS, you're not be handling it. That format usually takes a few people in my party so far. Especially when people are so... Yeah, oh yeah. They are murder machines, and I think it's hilarious that they are murder machines, in my opinion. But yeah, that's for sure. If you're not communicating, man, it's a bad day in the office, let me tell you. And like I mentioned, it's the first thing that ever killed me, because I didn't know what it was, and I was trying to line of sight, and I didn't line of sight fast enough, so... Nice experience. Where's that chest? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Where's the chest? It's over there. So I'm gonna pull a Chimera. Again, the Chimera is predictable. It will do one or the other. So it'll do Dragon Noise, and right after, it will do Amscrows. A little bit of an easier version of the Chimera. Because the previous Chimeras get a little complicated, because sometimes they do it, sometimes they don't, sometimes they go back to back. But this one is very consistent. Much stuff here, they just didn't want to spoil. Hey, no problem. Understandable, Zethra. And, that's fair. 100% fair. We pull General Grievous. Atmospheric displacement coming in. Reposition myself. Yeah, I don't know what my conversations were, so I hope... Yeah, so, like, I don't know if I say anything that does talk about later cores. I kind of hope not at this point, but... I understand it. Forming, we're gonna hide behind him. Alright. Yeah, because I fully respect that, because I did it myself. And chat was very respectful too, to allow me to do it blind as well, so I do really respect that type of prog, 100%. Ewok Bit. Hey, thanks for follow, appreciate that, welcome to the stream. Alrighty. We got... I will check the chest. I'm still missing things, like a raising would be fantastic. Steel's good. And when we get back to this run, on part 2, you'll see why raising is important, because I have a little bit of anxiety on certain floors. I'm a little bit more comfortable, but there are certain floors that I'm going to be a little bit more scared about. And I do encourage you guys to do the same, to be a little bit more cautious, but we'll have reasons why. I've seen up to 40, but went back to QT and behind finishes out, hopefully all done. Nice. I hope. Man, that's going to be so much of a motivating thing, too. If we get those clears back to back, oh man, the confidence. What's up, Hustle? How you doing, man? How are your runs going? Ugh. I had a long day today. I'm ready to go to sleep. That's why we do the setup files in these days, you know? Alright, so what we got now? We still have the Orthotaurs, we still have the Predators, so those are not new. I'm gonna pull anything that is new. Ah, we have the... Oh, this is the treasure room. Alright, I'm gonna try to sneak this treasure room a little bit. Now, this is the unique treasure room where everything's kind of stuck in place, but it's fine. And nothing good. We'll deal with the Ortho Impulse soon. Oh, General Grievous is coming in, so I'm gonna pull him first. Alright, so now you're gonna see how fast these AoEs are, because it's not Lethargy. Pay attention. Or I make something in. Snapshot. Atmospheric displacement. Snapshot. They are fast. You need to know what they do beforehand, otherwise if you're just guessing, you might die. And that's what makes this deep dungeon a little bit trickier in that perspective. I'm gonna pull the Ortho Predator here. For this remix. I found a surprising way to die today. I was at 91 for that show. Boy, it took so long. When my lethargy expired, suddenly a mob was casting at normal speed and my brain couldn't process what's happening. Oh well. That is certainly a way to die. Alright, this is doing the point blank first swing, followed immediately by the swipe. Going in close, fading, backwards. Dun, 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 dun. It will repeat the mechanic if it lives long enough, and it did. Okay, watching its ability here. It is doing Man's Voice, I'm out first. And I'm going back in because it'll be Dragon Voice guaranteed. Super stressed after the 2 8190 sessions, couldn't keep going. It did well in second file, so it's looking good. Okay, gotcha. Mr. Rin Kirigani, hello, how you doing? Thanks for the 7 months, my dear friend.
Angelus Mimic Brongo Animate, Angelus Mimic Brongo Animate, Angelus Mimic Brongo Animate, Angelus Blind.
I got to hang with Rin a little bit in PAX East. It was nice to meet you, my friend. How are your runs going? How's Octopath going, dude? Oh my god, Octopath is just... Love that game. Yeah, I think you cleared up Samurai recently, right? So Sam's done. Sage is done, right? So you have what? Warrior, Gunbreaker, Samurai, Sage. Fetishiya? He's actually my least favorite. Well, I mean, I like him, kind of, but he's kind of my least favorite. I'm gonna pull the Ortho Impulse here. What it will do is, it's kind of interesting. He's gonna get behind me to try to knock me back in the opposite direction. So, see him run that way, and he's gonna knock me back. So you want to just be careful, because he can knock you into, like, weird positions. It's a little bit of a weird mechanic, but just be careful with him. If you're not paying attention, you're gonna get shoved into the middle of the room and step on and aggro things all the time. So. Now, we also have one more enemy here, which is the Reptoid. The Reptoid, as you see, has an attack buff. He will occasionally buff himself out of combat. And you want to be very careful when you pull these, because they don't do it in combat, but they do it out of combat. And there's no other tell that it has it on other than looking at its buff. So you want to be careful when you pull these things. Oh, 69 wave, gotcha. Oh, Machinist, okay. But this year isn't particularly high up on my battle choice, but he's a kind soul. He is a kind soul. Very, very smart man, though. Very smart man. Hey, Sora, thanks for 2 months, I appreciate it. Hi. Hello. I prepped Sage and Reaper tonight. Nice! Reaper at 50. Cool. I just prepped Ninja on my end. So Ninja's prepped, and then we're gonna prep this one today. Yeah, I mean, people have been hyping up Ninja. I'm sorry. They've been hyping up, Samurai. A lot of people are really happy with Samurai. I've seen a lot of people do Samurai, so... You got to, like, 87... Wait, didn't you get to, like, 87 or something, right? Like, you didn't even make it to 90? Because you cleared, like, right away, so... 85. Oh, wait, it was 85. It was 85. Gotcha. Okay. I think it was like somewhere in the like lower 80s. Yeah, not bad. Not bad. Alteration, using it. Yeah, I have nothing about Samurai past 70, man. I know it has like double Madari. I dabbled with it at 80 a little bit, man. I don't know what it does like past 80. Because I did it a little bit in, Boja duels. So, like, I was doing a little Boja duels when I was at 80, but that's all I know. AoE Madari? Gotcha. That sounds fun. The bugs, by the way, just like its Heaven on High counterpart, are sound. Ooh, we gotta be careful of the Reptoid, because it's going to do the thing. I'm gonna pull the Predator first. I do not want to fight the Reptoid with the attack bonus on. It's not gonna be particularly... I don't think it's gonna be that bad, but it's just not a comfortable fight. I do have Steel, so we're not gonna do it. The Impulse are just like Heaven on High, where they are sound, so we can get past them by walking and RP walk. And, you know, they're not too bad of a fight, but sometimes you don't want the extra kills. Foaming Crackers on you all? Okay. Cool. Okay, I gotta watch out for this guy, because he just buffed himself. Got a racing, which is nice. The trickiest part about the Reptoid is that they buff themselves and then move. So like something with like the apes, when in Heaven on High Palace, they'll pump their chests after each time they do they buff themselves. So it gives you like a really clear kind of like visual that they buff themselves. This one's a little bit more a little bit tougher to kind of recognize quicker, or like make it that it's obvious. And they do it so often too. That's why it makes it a little tricky with those. You have to be just a little extra careful, or you just don't fight them. That's fine too. We're checking the buffs here, so that one is not buffed, so I'm gonna pull one... We'll pull this one. Alright. I just missed a reassemble build, or whatever. Those are sound? No, they're sound, yeah. In Heaven on High, they're sound. So, the ADS defense machines are... Oh, this is weird. The ADS defense machines are all proximity, but those guys in particular are sound. That does rear, and the rears are weird timing, because it's not, like, right away. So it does kind of throw me off a little bit with that. That's why I got a little bit caught off guard. I was gonna move into him, and then the moment he did that, he decided to do rear. Alright, almost to the 40 boss, which is fun. A little bit, I would say the 40 boss is actually pretty simplistic with its mechanics. Like, the other bosses are actually more complicated. But there's definitely a lot of ways to die on the 40 boss, that's for sure. And I am just out of water, so... And I think we've managed to pull everything on this set. So we have accomplished that going forward, so hopefully we have fully described everything that you will encounter and be ready for them. I need to go the opposite direction. There's a lot of chests. A lot of General Grievuses too. Pitching. Come back. What does Corrigan do if you get hit by AoE? It does a scream. And does a low damage scream that also stuns you for at least 2 seconds if you get hit with it. It is a diminishing return stun, so the more you get hit with it, the less it'll stun you, but that's what it does. I wish it hit the other enemies. That'd be kinda cool. Forming. Look how fast this AoE is, dude. Just don't be in a bad position. Atmospheric displacement. Also, instant AoE. Surrendering again. This area here. Yeah, just a couple of General Grievuses, it'll be fine. Could be worse. I think you're facing towards the exit, huh? Or facing towards the way I need to go, so let's see if we can get around you. For the love of God. Good. Anything here? There is one. I'm gonna walk here. Oh my god, I got 3 Serenities. Feels weird. Okay. General Grievous incoming. It's going to do Ram's Voice first. I'm gonna reposition here. I'm gonna do Dragon's Voice next, so I gotta actually go in, and this is gonna cause a bit of a problem. Just a bit of a problem. Alright. That had to be a quick witching there, because that really was going to be a big problem. So I can't stop the, I cannot stop the Dragon Voice like you typically could in the previous Deep Dungeons. They are not interruptible or stunnable. Either I LOS myself, which I wasn't planning to do, or, I died. Eh, not really into dying right now, especially when we're almost done with this file. Be ready for this thing to do an AoE here. It did not. This one's gonna try to do knockback. Ow. Did. Another General Grievous. I'm gonna sprint to see if I can pass them fast enough. Hog. Dragging this around with me so I can have it closer to where I need to go, to my next destination. I'm gonna heal. Oh wow. That's a big, a really far push. So just mind that one. Alright, now let's open the chests. And let's get on out of here. The boss! And the boss is... Wait for it. See it when you see it. Where's strength? What a thing. Nah, I'm not gonna strength. This boss is actually one of the lesser HP values. It is Twintania's clone. And the mechanics are not too bad here. The outer is a death ring. I think it's a death ring, or is he's going to do some pretty bad damage. First move we're going to do is Twister. You need to be in motion by the time that thing cast goes off. You'll see a little green spot show up. If you're stationary when that thing goes off, you are basically dead. So what I like to do is just I like to stay in motion. Here, there's going to be one open spot for knockback, which is that one. I'll try to visually show the bad one, so you can kind of get an idea next time. Here I would like to move around in the longer way to get back to that spot. So I go away from it and make a circle around it so we can get knocked back into the safer spot here. Big position here. Gotta be pretty tight on that thing. Twister, I'm gonna stay in motion. Watch my position, you'll see a green spot show up. You just do not want to be there, nor do you want to run back into there. So that's why running around the circle is pretty good. This fight's a little bit less complicated with less people. Here he's gonna do the AoEs again, which you can stack 2 of them together. Now he's gonna jump. Plutoni's gonna jump. You're gonna find him around the outer arena. He's gonna do a line AoE from this position. You want to stay in motion because once he finishes the line AoE, he's also dropping a Twister. Boom. If you're stationary, you just dodge, you're dead. GG. So you gotta stay in motion. You'll repeat the rotation from here on out. It'll be the same thing to the end of time. Twister comes out. Now watch the AoEs coming in. There'll be one good one, one bad one. Okay, so this is the good one. The opposite side's the bad one. So if we get knocked back, it's gonna be that bad stuff over there. I'm gonna start at the bottom here, with the same side of the save spot. And now I'm gonna make a circle around here to kind of get back and circle back around to get to the safe knockback. But there was one good knockback, there's one bad knockback. Position myself here to get the maximum distance. I don't know what I just hit there. Fuck. Maybe come back in. Now the question is, can you arm's length? Well, I'll show you if you can arm's length on the next rotation. I'm gonna keep moving here. Alright, again, you're going to be looking for the safe knockback, not the bad one. So the safe one is on this one. I'm going to position myself over here to make that circle. This is just my preferred way. It's not the best way, but this is my preferred way of doing it. I'm going to circle in, circle around, circle around. Alright, now I'm going to knockback prevention here. I'm going to hit my arm's length, stay in the middle, arm's length is up, you still get knocked back. So you cannot arm's length this. So just take that as a big no. Do not rely on the arm's length there. You have to do the mechanic correctly. And this is rinse and repeat till this thing does. Finding the open spot, which is the opposite side, so I'm gonna go over here so I can make my circle. Staying over here to rinse repeat. We don't have to be too fancy with these AoEs, I just have to just slowly make my way around. Once she parks in, then we're good. Also, all of these AoEs will resolve by the time she does her knockback. So even if you kind of get a little bit messy... Oh, that's bad. Why did I get knocked back that way? Hey, we found a new safe spot. I don't know why I got knocked back that. I think it was too dead center. Anyway, don't do that. Going around to avoid the Twister. Yeah, it's just fine. We had to do it as for demonstration purposes, that's why. That's the safe spot over there. Right here. Around. Look around. Alright, we're not going to be dead center. We're going to be actually on this pointer. That should be good. Right on the sword. Should be okay. Good. Yeah, that's why the markers are there, right? I mean, that's why the flooring is how it is, because it gives you spots to stand on. And let me tell you, that's going to come up a lot later into some of the boss fights with the floor mapping. It'll give you a little bit of help in certain mechanics if you're paying attention. So that's the safe spot. I'm going to go over here this way. Make my circle. Probably get one more rotation here. Also, as you can see, we're not taking that much damage because Quintana is busy doing mechanics over damage, so... And that's Quintana. Protomanders are pretty good. Didn't really spend too much. And that's the first half of this tutorial. So hopefully that was pretty good on the explanation. We have to fight everything. We explained the bosses. And we'll definitely continue that on this run in particular. We will fight everything. Everything will get pulled at least once, and I'm pretty comfortable with fighting everything. So at least this way, you'll see what it does, and then hopefully it'll give you that knowledge to be able to, you know, prep for your next ones and everything. So I'm going to be putting down a lot of stream markers as we go along. So 41 plus, welcome. I would almost recommend raising here. This is a personal thing. I think every runner will have a set of floors that will be your problem. I just had someone on YouTube commenting that they had a problem with 61 to 70 Heaven on High. And that was the floor amongst anything else. It just gave them the most problem. They just died a lot in those floors. Like no other floor. Not even 81, not even 71, not even... is that set. I think everyone will have something on their own attempts that will just be like, I just have a problem with this floor. For me, it's this one, because I've died here the most. So I will always raising on 41. I might get away without a raising, but if anything, if you have limited raising, I would suggest doing it here, and then the next time you're raising would be on 61 if you have 2, but if you only have 1, save it for 71. And we'll explain that later on. So we'll focus in on the 41. So here also, another thing to note is that this will be the return of the cave floors. So people who did pallets will be familiar with the cave floors. If you don't know what the cave floors are, the only thing I can tell you to prepare you for that is that you're just dealing with very irregular walls. You're also dealing with a lot of traps that are potentially on the supposed walls, wall traps as we call them, because of the irregular shapes and the ways that the floor pushes you into the room. So there's a good chance you'll step on traps. Also, there is seemingly some design choice here because there are enemies that we will have to fight that we have to actually line of sight, and to line of sight around a cave floor is annoying. But either way, we'll explain it all as we go in. So let's go. 41 plus. Cave floors! Bring back the music, yes? Go in. We'll try to pull... no, we will pull one of everything. Raising here immediately. It is Rave Cave. Steel's a good start. We got Giga Chad, as we'll refer to it as a Meishi's thing. We have the gargoyles. They are going to only do a AoE, almost similar to kind of most of the ones that exist in Deep Dungeon. They are also sight. Nothing too overly exciting. How do I play this job again? Okay, that's not part of the information. We have Archeron, who on this job specifically is not bad. First thing he'll open up with is a Conal. That's not the button one. Now the next one he'll do is Quake, which is similar almost to the stuff in Onra, Heaven on High. It is interruptible, but if you don't have an interrupt, you cannot stun it, and you need to LOS it. So that can be line of sighted, but for a Machinist, you should pretty much have your head graze on. So you just be ready for it. That is a one-shot. Shockingly. You wouldn't have expected it to be a one-shot, but it is a one-shot. I'm gonna pull a couple more here. Hey, Neki. Just cleared Heaven on High and Summoner! Congratulations! I'm glad to hear that. Welcome to the club. Let's go, dude. That's a great job in Deep Dungeon, isn't it? Are you gonna try to do it in, other Deep Dungeons? Because Summoner is great everywhere else. Even as a noob, current prog, I haven't found any issues here, but Gelato. Yes, the sharks on the... yeah, those are definitely big problems. I need to wait a little bit because my head graze is not available. But, you know what, actually, we can just do a demonstration. So, let's do a demonstration here about the line of sighting. We're gonna keep him... with the cave floors, it's difficult with line of sight because you have to be pretty creative and you have to be pretty smart about where you're gonna move. So I'm gonna line of sight here. All you need to do is make sure that you do not see. Target not line of sight, you're good to go. And we will avoid that damage. That is one check I was told from a gamer. As long as you're not actually creating damage, you are line of sighted. Target is not line of sight, so you're not line of sight. For me, I have to visually make sure I don't see him, but it's the same thing. So, hey, Wallen, thanks for gifting us sub to the new game. All right, 2 new enemies here. We'll pull them both. Actually, we'll pull one of them. I'm sure we're gonna run into the other guy soon. This one, the Bergthus, very careful. it does have an elbow drop, and it has killed many, myself included. It'll do an AoE, it's designed to kind of trick you. If you stand behind them, an elbow drop will come in. It's pretty fast and no telegraph, and that is directly behind Conal. That is a one-shot. So whenever you try to dodge its AoE, as a Machinist, I definitely recommend doing away from him or to the side of him. Otherwise, you're dead. You need to just remember. Just like me, I sometimes get crazy and I'll just say elbow drop, elbow drop, elbow drop, and then we won't get hit with elbow. But that is a one-shot. Not in the mood to demonstrate. You were convinced it was called Giga Chad? See, Meiji is an influencer. Currently at 140 in POTD, but on Machinist PB 82, disconnecting EO, died at oof. Okay. Try Summoner, honestly, try Summoner. You might like it. Wazi! Alright, this guy does I believe, a Conal first. Nope, it is a Boulder Toss. It will then do a Conal after this. It is Sight as well. There's the Conal. Kind of designed to be a little tricky, but for this job it's not too bad, because your position usually will make you cater to being safe for that attack. There you go. Mimics can still be on Silver Chest, so we're going to be ready. Good. Let's pull an Abia. We'll try to demonstrate that it is Sight. So no aggro here. Aggro here. Let's Sight aggro. Has influenced your understanding of a term point blank? Yeah, I do. Good. Oh, the exit is this way. Go this way. Her Twitter post was wicked. Yeah, some people are just a little weird. Oh, that's the nicest way I can put it. Alright, the kill count is not surprising. Don't be shocked by that. Again here, this is the elbow drop guy. We're gonna run away from his freeze over, so we're not anywhere near that elbow drop. The nicest, yeah, that's the nicest way I can put it, yeah, that's right. Good to go. I might consider a strength. Don't feel bad about using strength. To speed you up. You're not really gonna need strength really anywhere else, per se. So don't feel bad about using strength. We're gonna use it to just speed up a little bit. Alright, we're gonna pull the Archeron. We have, Go ahead, Graze up. Also, I'm checking around the different areas here to make sure that I'm not gonna get caught off guard by any patrol coming in. We do have one coming in. I'm actually going to kill this before the thing comes out, so I'm going to pull this right away. The Queen can do some damage. With Strength, you will probably notice with your full damage, you'll kill it before Quake comes out. This is kind of similar to lots of other DPS. Also, the Bergthurs is sound, to note, which makes it a little bit more annoying and a little bit more of a higher priority to kill. Like, for instance, there is a silver chest in here, so I would want to probably kill off the Bergthurs versus anything else. I mean, eliminating the patrols is good, so I don't have to worry about anything around me, but you do want to eliminate these guys. Giga Chance will quake through time and space. Wait a minute, Meiji. Pulling you. Again, don't stand behind. Staying away. For melee, this can be, you know, interesting, but if you stay on its flank, you'll be fine. But obviously for range, we have a little bit more of an option here. Checking chest, could be Mimic. Alrighty, go to the next room. Alright, so we have to pull the Bergthur again, because it is in the way. Meiji's physics spam saved my heaven on high run. Hey! Good. It's a team effort. You know, it's a solo challenge, but it's a team effort. Intuition? I'll take it. Again, this is just gonna do Oculus AoE, no problem. I'm gonna kite him back. So I'm gonna make him travel with me. No real big issue here. Hey, yeah, dude. Y'all better go thank Meiji. DM's here. Put that out to help the gamers. That's it. That's all it comes down to, you know? Contrary to popular belief, she's not out to kill you. She's there to help you. Exit's open, so I'm gonna keep the kills to the minimum. If you're going for points, you're definitely gonna want to kill more. Mr. Spriggan, we will probably fight one later, but what they do is just auto-attacking. They'll do double attacks, but after about a minute, they will do a haste. And their haste is interesting because it also increases speeds up their double attack ability. So they're gonna start really trucking you with a lot of damage very fast. So they are definitely one that you want to kill sooner rather than later. If you happen to Luring Trap, priority kill them first, or Witching. They're gonna be the more deadlier one than anything else that's here. You can dodge a lot of AoEs, but they just do straight damage. Oh, so we have our first instance of a auto-heal disabled. We haven't done it, I believe, in this file. So what's going to be really nice is two things. First of all, whenever you see one, you want to take advantage of the opportunity. When there's an auto-heal disabled, the enemies also have auto-heal disabled. Also, I'm combining a safety here so I can navigate the floor without too much of a problem. I'm going to Fortune, and I'm going to Storms. And you'll see what happens when we... Oh wait, actually, hold on. Yep, good idea. Alrighty. So, everything will be put to single-digit HP, however, they will not regenerate. And the other interaction that's really nice is that things that are typically aggro, they will not aggro. They will only aggro if they're above 70% HP. So this is essentially, because we safetied, a free floor. And with the Fortune, we can kill everything. And I do highly recommend you kill everything, because it's just free kills. Points, free kills, no aggro. You didn't know that? See, that's why we're here. They got scared. They got scared of it. Yeah. They just vibing. The HP thing blew your mind. What was really cool is that this HP down got introduced before Eureka Orthos. It got introduced in 6.3. And we were so confused as to why they would put something like this in, and we had no idea of like a protomander that was going to come into place to do that. But it was so confusing. So we had like all these strategies to like take advantage of it. Actually, some of us thought it was a glitch. Like, no joke. Some of us thought it was a glitch. But then once Eureka Orthos came out, it's like, oh yeah, that all makes sense now. It all makes sense. I spent so much time here. Well, the thing is, like, first of all, it's good advertisement, right? I want you to come back and watch the stream, right? But also it's tough because with this content, I can't explain everything because sometimes we just don't run into it. And a lot of times it's hard for me just to fabricate information if it's not happening in front of me. Well, it's not really fabricating, it's more just like remembering what that thing was, but we got all the kills. Best Fortune ever, we got 0 chests. How much HP? They need 7... No, I think it's 7... Well, I think actually someone said 75%, 80%. Good correction on my part, on Willow's part. Yeah, 80%. I thought about that, to be fair. One of the things... Oh, here's a cool tip. Someone used this in the community, and I thought it was brilliant. If you know Heaven on High, there's a protomander called Conceal. Conceal makes you invisible, you won't aggro anything, all that fun stuff. Someone used a Storms to get through a treasure room, because it would drop everyone down to 1 HP, but nothing would aggro for like about, let's say about 5, 6, 7 seconds. So they stormed and ran to the exit, which is smart. That's a smart play. Headed Tets. These are bad. I would not suggest pulling these. What they do is just an unavoidable slow, and it stacks. And it sucks, and it's 30 seconds. The real not fun enemy. They also will do a line AoE after the second stack, which is fine. I mean, that's an easy one to dodge, Hailfire. But the slow is the one that's bad. So if you're fighting these, don't pull them back to back. because they will continue to stack the slow, so you have to be very careful. They are also sight, so... I did suggest using a storm as a fake conceal day one, everyone ignored you. Because why would you just kill them for points? I didn't ignore you, I just didn't hear you. You should have said it louder in my ear. If you yelled in my ear, I would have probably listened to you. I think someone like had a video example or something, that's probably wrong. Stopping quick. Oop. I did use it. Okay, so I'm gonna hold damage, because I may not have it. Although, no, I'll have an LOS. I'll have a line of sight here, just in case this guy uses it and I did not do enough damage to him. So, like, when it comes to line of sighting, again, you have to kind of pre-plan your position. If you're pulling something that has a bit of an issue with the line of sight, make sure that you know where to go, just in case. Because, man, to panic and to figure out where to run, not a good day in the office. We're gonna pull this one. Let's time him. It is 46-12. So we're gonna see how long it takes for him to use the haste, so that everyone can know the exact time of that haste. Again, he's just doing auto attacks. He'll do, I think, Frenzied Flurry, whatever the hell the name thing is that they called. Okay, it is now 20 seconds. 20 seconds into the fight. Uses haste. And the damage will be a lot higher. So that's Phonetic Flurry. He spams it, and that's why that one in particular is a little nasty. If you have a couple of them, Willow knows this personally. If you have a couple of them coming at you, big problem. Alright, Horsey, Kelpie. He'll do a target AoE, which is a gap closer. And then right after, he'll do an AoE around him, point blank. Get away. No telegraph, point blank. He'll also do a double attack, which is kind of whatever. But it's more about that specific attack that you need to avoid. So take the gap closer and run away from it. Don't pull few of them, no items. Yeah. Best tip of the night. Physical range, it's pretty easy to deal with them because you're naturally running away anyway, but just be careful with that. When in doubt, assume it's a one-shot. Exactly. If it has an AoE anyway. But the bloody puddle is tricky because there's no telegraph. So if you have no idea what it's going to do, you know, it's tricky, but that's what it does. It's just a point blank. Purity. Pulling the Berg Third because that is kind of, again, it's proximity, and it could be in my way to check the other room as well. Alright. Bum 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 bum. Witching came back, good. We're getting our Protomanders back, which is fantastic. Another Berg Third over there. If you break line of sight on Gallop, yes, that is true what Willow said. If you break line of sight from Gallop, they will skip that mechanic afterwards. That actually does occur for a couple enemies. We'll see some Basilisks later that will do the gaze into Body Slam. And that will also occur if you stun. That is a very true fact. And that will apply, in this case, for Machinist, that will apply if, like, you had Doga, who will do Petrify. Who just happens to Petrify the first move, so that's something to keep in mind. It's like, oh, well, Machinist doesn't have stun. Well, you have Doga. And Doga does this thing. Is this sight? We're just getting right behind that conal. Doesn't the Horus Point Blank also do a smaller AoE from the Point Blank, making it X-shaped? I am not sure what it does, Memento, in terms of the precise mechanics of it. All I know is that just you wouldn't want to stand away from it. I mean, visually it does look like it's a little, like, it does something weird, but yeah, I don't know what the proper thing would be. Like, we can look at it here once it does it. Also, I will try to do this without doing the Serenity, so you can kind of see the limits of what Machinist is capable of doing. Alright, so watch the AoE here. Yeah, I mean, it looks like it's something that is like a cross, but to me it also looks like just the animation looks like that. But either way, I wouldn't stand next to it or, like, near it, especially with a mechanic like that. I'm gonna pull another Kelpie here because it can become a problem since it is a patrol. I am running out of steel, but it's okay. The enemies here are not too bad. Running away from the gallop. Okay, yet another Kelpie. You guys are gonna pull it. They're coming at me. They wanna come at me. Prep for the gallop. Running away. Oops, can't see. Seal is now down. I'm gonna pull the Gubu. The Gubu is sight. Let me go run up next to him so you guys can see. Sight aggro. First move he's gonna do is a pull-in, which does not matter if it's no knockback. And then he's gonna do an immediate conal right after. No telegraph. So that's meant to kind of trick you there, to kind of catch you if you're not paying attention. But that is what that does. And that's all he does, pull in into the conal. Do I always raise in these floors? This one, yes I do. This one is my Achilles heel. I have a lot of problems on this floor surviving. So no matter what my raising looks like, even if I have 0 or even if I have 1, I will use it to get off this floor. I've died here the most. Actually, coming up, we'll probably see the thing that is a problem, which is the wolves. Those are the ones that are the more problematic ones, especially in this specific floor. So we're gonna try to make our way through. Spriggans are sight. Or, well, you know, supposedly. No, they are sight. It's just I aggro. This one would be a little bit dangerous to keep alive, so we're not going to hang around with it too long. I can wait it, which is really nice. 20 seconds and then it does the haste. I want these chests, by the way. I'm gonna wait. 40s and 50s. Yeah, 50s I was okay with. Knock on wood. 40s is the one I've died to the most in all of this entire content. I am gonna check the silver chests. I can handle a mimic. I can actually handle a mimic better than I can handle a Spriggan, which is a little funny, but that is the truth. Yeah, especially if you're going for the visual cue or the pull-in, you don't see that happening, so they can kind of sneak in. But if you're staying away from them, then you're not going to get hit with it because you didn't get pulled in. I mean, they're bad for melee, but I think for a range class, you're probably not going to have a problem. Checking all the rooms, making sure. More than likely that chest is... we can check it. I might take an aggro, though. Yeah, he's in a spot that might aggro. So we'll just go to the exit here. That's one fight I probably don't want to deal with, especially with the Gloom, no items. With the slow. Okay, so I'm gonna wait for these guys to move, because I don't know when they did. A lot of times enemies will move every like 20 seconds or so, and then they won't move for like another 20 seconds. So at some point they will move, and then they'll be there for quite a while. So I'm gonna also wait for the Spriggan, because it could move either towards the exit or away from it, but in this case he moved away, so I'm good, so we go to the exit. Orange Lake does remove the Spriggan haste spell, that's right. Should things get dicey. Alright, Mudman and Cool Khan. I'm not sure. We'll just call it a Cuckoo. Kelpie. So the Cuckoos will, they'll target you and they'll follow you through the room. Watching for the pull-in here. There it is. Buttons are hard. Oh, there's the AoE. I'll explain that in a bit, as long as I don't die here. HP down is a little bit of an annoyance for sure. Taking care of the Golem in case he does it. There it is. Staying away. Alright, so this one will chase you down and try to get in line of sight, although he decided not to at this point. We'll try to do another example of that one. We'll pull the Mudman. Mudman is a proximity enemy, and they're not on the surface special. All they'll do is kind of point blank weight attack like that, which gives you heavy. It is point blank, so technically you can run away from it. Now this really only becomes a problem in specific situations, like you have trolls after you or something like that. That's when it can become a bit of a problem. So this guy, I guess if he sees me, he's gonna just try to do it. Usually they chase you down. I think if they're in range, they will try to do that AoE. But if you're pretty far, they will chase you down. But definitely want to get this out because of the bone thing that they do. They'll just do Etherical Blast, which is the line AoE. Nothing too special. You gotta run away from it. Not too bad in that department. They're more of a bigger problem because of the vulnerability that they do in the big AoE. But that's where kind of the walls will be good, because you can avoid the AoE by just hugging around the wall. But like I said, they do kind of try to get in range to use it. So they're not entirely easy to dodge. What is this? Fortune. Alright, so we've pulled everything so far. Everything has been pulled at least once. Oh, except you. Alright, the Hellhound is the more complicated one. The first move he'll do is Abyssal Cry. An Abyssal Cry cannot be silenced, it cannot be stunned. Must be line of sighted. And under most circumstances, you will not kill this in time. We must line of sight this. What that will do... Let's scare the crap out of me. What that will do is that it will do an AoE stun that does minimal damage. However, it's a wombo combo attack. Anything that is stunned, it will then do a Clip Bite, and then it'll one-shot you. It's almost similar to how, if anyone did Heaven on High, if you did this boss on floor 80, and you get hit with Deep Freeze by the icicles and all that stuff, the icicles don't directly kill you, but then his next move, which will be Eclipse Bite, will do Overkill, and it'll just one-shot you. And it's essentially the same principle. You need to be very careful with that attack, and that's one of the things that did kill me personally. And it wasn't fun, let me tell you. We're gonna take advantage of the landmine, because a lot of things don't really do that much damage. Get a quick kill here under the Gubu, no problem. There are a lot of landmines, I mentioned this before. So we use the site, not a bad thing to utilize, especially because the auto attacks are not really threatening too much. Wombo combos are scary. Wombo combos are like... They're mentally, what's the term I'm looking for? They're like they're a trick on your mind, because you almost feel like you're like, oh, you know what? Okay, I got hit with it, we're okay, we still have a chance. And then it's like, no, you really don't, because it's designed to kill you. I know like there are bombs in Palace of the Dead that do the same thing, where, oh, that's not good, they're gonna start comboing me. That damage is pretty big, too. There's enemies in Palace of the Dead where you get hit with the AoE, you'll take just enough damage, but then it gives you a DOT, and then that's it. There's a Dread Beast there, but we will pass on the Dread Beast. I didn't see it. This is one thing that is my problem. So I don't know, like I know a lot of people also have commented on this a little bit. Okay, first and foremost, let me explain this first. We have a Dread. This is going to be a first use of our Dread. Dread is a combination of a Rage and a Lust, where we come up to the enemy, we hit them once, and they one-shot. You have to make sure that if there's no knockback, you don't use it because it doesn't work. But this is very good. So, I never see the message on the Dread Beast. The Dread Beast does have a message here. It says, oh, there's a Dread Beast that stalks the floor. But because I'm looking at where I need to go, I'm looking at what enemies I need to kill, I don't see the message. So for most gamers, I know some people say that they also don't see it. I kind of wish there was some type of tone or like better icon to better represent that. But something to note. Now again, this is our first use of the Dreadnought. Its main one attack is the one-shot. It'll just one-shot enemies. It knocks them back. It also has a Bone Down, Wrecking Ball, like that. Not a bad ability to use to pull enemies out of rooms. I was taught that by some gamers. You can use that on bosses to kill bosses faster, but I'm not gonna lie, it's not really something that you see very often being used. I don't really use that. You're not really gonna see me use something like that, but it is an option if you're gonna kill a boss faster. I think we did use it on this file. No, I didn't use it on this file. I used it on my score run. Did it once just to kill the boss a little bit faster. You know how it says Stalks is 4? What if there are patrols with some weird pathing where they actually like hunt you down for it? I would like that. I'm game. Like everyone's like, no. Yeah, they just go through walls and everything. Good. That scares you with shackle sounds as they are patrolling. I mean, some of these patrols are a little bit too loud, not gonna lie. You can hear them a mile away, unlike the Manticores in Heaven on High with socks on. Dreadbeast patrols would be fantastic. Alright, nice clean floor, demonstrated the Dread, showcased the Dreadbeast there. Overall good floor of explanations. Alright, gonna see some new enemy sets. Strength, using that. I mean, have you seen the community, Yabi? You've been here long enough. Gonna pull this so he doesn't give me the vuln. We do have now Gelato, which are... The Gelato are pretty deadly. Much like a lot of things in here, they do have a Enrage once you reach a certain HP threshold. So especially in a floor like this, where it is gloomed, and we don't have strength on, highly recommend that you prepare a line of sight for that one as well. We will pull one, but I'm going to figure out which one I want to pull. I'm also going to pull this now. I don't have to deal with him. There's a patrol coming in, which is the doggo. So I want to make sure that I'm planning out where I want to stand for him. And it looks like where I'm fighting this enemy right now would be good for the line of sight. Again, it would be really advantageous for you to plan out your positioning, because you do not want to be caught off guard with an enemy like this one, who has a line of sight move. Alright, so we are here. Get him to the wall, very good. His first move is going to come in, which is going to be the Abyssal Cry. We're going to run, make sure that we're not line of sighted. See the error message, target is not line of sight. Good to go. And we continue. There's another one coming. There's a lot of them coming. There's another, and another, and another. Well, the next one. Since I have a good spot here, I'm just gonna rinse and repeat on the position. Moving out. Patrol train. Very common in Eureka Orthos. Repositioning, so I don't deal with that one right now. Good. Now, that other doggo will be coming. I'm gonna wait to see where it goes first, because I don't want to fight two at a time. Okay. I'm gonna let this pass, and we're gonna ignore this whole area. I'm gonna pull the Mudman instead. Again, this does a point-blank wait, which I can run away from, which I just did right there. Gelato is sight. We want to be careful with that, as I mentioned, because it does happen in Rage. And I will pull one to demonstrate. Those are ones I would kind of avoid, just because of what they're doing. Alright, so we have a really good spot because we have this little hallway here. So I'm going to pull the Gelato. It'll do, it's AoE point blank flail. Very common. If I remember correctly, this Enrage is either under 40% or under 30%, so look for its percentages right now. It is 43. It is 36. It is under 30%. It'll do an Explosion. That's Explosion. Okay, now, one thing to note about Explosion. Really, really important. That thing is a true raid-wide. You need to line of sight and you're okay. Let's say, and I've seen a video of this. Also, let's talk about the Apa first. The Apa just does a point-blank water 3. It is also proximity, so you want to kill it. Let's say I'm here, and I'm fighting the gelato, and I run across the map to where the spawn room was, and I still have line of sight, I can still see it. You know, we didn't LOS, so we have line of sight. That far, it'll still kill you with explosion. Because it is like a true raid-wide, area-wide BS. So note that down. You have to make sure it's a line of sight. And the only reason why you even have a chance to do that is if you do Lethargy. Lethargy will allow you to get that far. I did see someone try to do that, and it didn't go well. Line of sighting here. Only reason I'm killing these right now is because I do want to get to this room and check the room. So I'm killing these out to allow me to make that happen. So these are not necessary kills, but our time is also okay. I am hunting down another demi-clone. Good. Could be Mimic. It's not. Will this be on YouTube? It'll be on YouTube no matter what. Whether it's going to be labeled as a tutorial will be if I clear. If I don't clear, then this is just another run. With a lot of explanation. But if it is cleared, I will be dressing this up as a tutorial. Right now, actually, you can pretty much expect all of my runs, no matter if they're wipes or clears or whatever, they will be put on YouTube at some point. But for EO, I'm only able to do 2 a week, if I'm even at normal schedule. I think that's it. Alright. Ah, I pulled the gelato, right? Okay, we pulled one of everything. I think there is one more that's going to exist here. Give me water. Surprised they didn't have one dread beast for each aggro type. It was interesting that they did pick it to be sight, which is the easier one to handle. More doggos. We have a good line of sight there. Oh, I have a dread. I'm gonna combine it with a sight and a fortune for the easy one here. Let me just also examine this floor. See if there's anything that we could talk about or pull or whatever. Dread's nice. No, it looks like we have everything. So let's start here. I'm gonna dread. Point blank coming in. Again, those are proximity, so those are another high priority kill, because they might be blocking your path to somewhere. So you do want to get rid of those type of enemies that are in the way of a chest or something, because you want to get to that chest. Mudman again, our proximity. I'll go to the side so you can see. Boom. Alright, we don't need to go. I'll take care of the patrol here. Yeah. It's nice to have backup, or mages. I mean, there's so many amazing friendos and creators that you can go in as backup. And I'd like to think, like, you know, between me, Finn, and the other guys, we're gonna slowly conquer and cover all the bases for everyone. So, I think that's what's great about having other people try to do it, and people who are definitely really good at the content. That you kind of cover more ground. I mean, I could only do so much in a week. You know, I can only do so much in X amount of days. So to have more things faster is really cool. Switching, still looking for a affluence raising would be good. So this would be a good thing to try to do right now, just to kind of see if we can stock up. I might aggro the Apa, but we'll see. Got the dread back again. I could do the dread again, which I might actually. We might do that specifically to try to farm some chests. Let's start with this gelato and work on our way south, and then we'll go. This was what? A witching. Okay, we'll do the second dread here. What am I doing? A 35-hour stream? When I to invest in a cyborg body, I will do that. We should do a donation goal. You want to do a donation goal? We'll do a donation goal that will purchase a cyborg exoskeleton thing that I can transfer my mind to. I mean, that can't be that expensive, right? I mean, Finn has one, so it can't be that bad. Just purchase a clone? I don't know, man. What if the clone's not as good, you know? Wow, awesome fortune. I got so much out of that. Top tier fortune. Let's go pick up the loot. Maybe it's an Onion Knight? Okay, if my clone is an Onion Knight, I'll take it. I can trust the Onion Knight. I got the Doga. Alright, cool. Not a bad fortune, actually. We got the Doga, we got a Dread. Oh no, I think the Dread was a regular one. Yeah, I think we've done everything. I think we pulled every single enemy here. So that's good. Got the fortune back, Hog. We'll take care of the Cuckoo Khan. So he doesn't start doing bones on me. Okay, checking around to see what's good. We know we have at least one patrol. Mudman, Gelato, which would 100% do its explosion. That's the exits. Apa, that's fine. I was gonna pull the Apa anyway, so that's not a bad aggro there. Because it was probably gonna give me a problem for the chest. I do need to worry about this patrol coming towards me. And I have a bit of a plan here. I can kind of go this way, and we'll duck around now. I had a little bit of time. I could probably tell which direction he's going pretty quick, so wanted to make that decision fairly fast. That would be a good pull though, because it looked like that room had a good line of sight and a little bit of areas for me to dodge the Abyssal Cry. So I can fight you right about here. Right about here should be good, and I can hug around the wall for the line of sight. And I kind of planned ahead. I gave myself some time to think about that. Although that Flan is gonna give me a problem, so I'm gonna back up and do this instead. We're gonna take the Mudman with us, and this is where this problem could happen with the Wombo combo of the Mudman, because of the weight he gave me. If this thing were to do another Abyssal Cry, I would be in a bit of a problem because I can't get around a wall fast enough unless I really plan it out. But it already used it, so the cooldown on it is a fairly respectable amount of time. Enough for me to kill it just right there, even with no abilities. So now we just handle the Mudman. I would much rather fought the Mudman than probably the Gelato. Honestly, either one would have worked, but I would have had to plan out the LOS for both of those guys. And also, I guess for the sake of demonstration, I can showcase the Gelato exploding, since I probably won't even pull it fast enough. There's another patrol there. Let's get around to the other side of the room to see what we got. The weight's pretty severe. More than likely I'm pulling the Mudman because he is blocking from that room. Check his chests. There's a steal. That's nice. We'll use it for the boss. Don't really need it for the boss, but we'll use it for the boss. We can currently get around the Apa because of... Nope, just kidding. Just kidding. There are a couple chests here I'd like to check, so we're probably going to overkill a little bit. Water 3 coming in first. That is not interruptible. Our time is fine. The boss is not going to take too long, even without strength, and it'll give more rotation for people to see how that fight's going, and more time for me to explain it. Pulling this Apa so I can get range, so I can get access to this chest. Currently, if I go for that chest, I will aggro the other Apa. I also need to be concerned with the doggo that's floating around. So I'm gonna watch my back a little bit, while also watching the Apa here. It is coming. It is indeed coming. Make my adjustment here. Also knows the Cuckoo. Oh, well, that's a bit of fun. 2 Apa and a Mudman. Right, now to showcase, No, that's a problem. I'm dead. Got the Witching Elf, though. That's why I'm raising here. Let's just get this out of the way here. So I did get the Witching off, but because it was a little late and the Water 3 did fire off, that's why I took the hit there. So I was gonna try to get through that without really using anything, but I lost track of the fact I had 2 Apa, not 1 Apa. So I already planned to avoid the first one, I didn't avoid the second one. How do I like Night Machinist? There's a lot of buttons pressing. I mean, I like pressing buttons, so it's nice. Like, that's one reason I like Ninja, because Ninja was very busy. And it just felt like, even though I wasn't figuring out what the rotation was, it was still pretty cool to do that fight, to do that job. Right, I'm gonna try to get to that chest that I was trying to get to earlier. I gotta mind the fact that things respawn here. I can get to that chest now. Time again is still fine. I do want this chest just in case it's erasing. Strength. Worth it. Watch the point blank here. Whew, that threw me off. I'm gonna drag this guy with me. So I can check the other room. I do have a steal as well. So this is like me trying to get to chests, trying to keep my protomanders in check with the extra time. You know, you could just go, that's fine. You don't have to do this and just like, you know, spend extra time on this floor just to try to get things. But it's a good habit to have. Sometimes you will pick up something that just so happens to really help you out in terms of time in the future. This is also one real good reason why on the run I won't really have issues with protomanders. We'll have a healthy stock, we'll be managing it, time will also be pretty well, so, you know, this goes into the whole plan of action of what to do to make it through here. So I think one of the common issues I'm watching of newer people trying to go through here is the protomander management as well as the time management, which is, you know, basic issues that you will have for any run. But that's definitely the one big one you'll see, like, Palace of Dead, Heaven and High. But here, with the skills that you possess, as you can see, this thing's trying to get in range. The skills that you possess from Palace of Heaven on High really lend into this in terms of time management. So I've never really had a problem with time in here, with that experience carrying over. Okay. Time that in a way so I don't get that aggro. This gelato is a little close to aggro. I'm gonna wait for him to turn. Although I was gonna actually demonstrate him, so let's fight. This would be good. Okay. So again, he will do explosion as a DPS check. I'll let it go on purpose, and you'll just see it go off. You have to make sure that you're line of sighted, otherwise you are going to get dead. There it is. We can kill it in time, but we are getting our line of sight, so our target not line of sight. Boom! Look how big that that animation is. That's why it's huge. Alright, boss time. I hope you like chimeras. We're gonna get into this boss, and then I will explain how to manage this boss. We have a chimera, and if you fought chimeras before, know your ins and outs. Know your ins and outs. Think of the moveset is for a normal chimera. Dragon voice, ram's voice. Now you want to think of the characteristics of a dragon voice. What is the animation of it? It's like lightning, that kind of animation, where a ram's voice is kind of an ice type of animation. This thing tries to trick you because the names aren't going to be dragon rams, but it's going to be attributes. Thunderous ice, thunderous cold, ice thunder. So you want to look for that. Now it's going to be using the attacks in sequence. So it'll say thunderous ice, or ice and thunder. And what that means is that the first one is going to be ice, the second one is going to be thunder, so you'll be going out, then in. And we'll explain it as we go about. Generally speaking, we also want to just keep away from this thing. He'll have some left-right mechanics, so you want to make sure that you are avoiding that mechanic, and we'll explain it as we go. Let's begin the fight. Not really going to care about my positioning here, per se. That's the least of my concerns. So look at the first move. It is thunder, then ice, so it's going to do dragon in, and then ice out. So dragon voice there, and I'm stepping out for the next one. That's how you read that. We're going to watch for its next move, which would be one of its threats. So left, I always say my left. So you want to match left and left. And it'll be the entire left side of the arena. So I go that way. Next one is going to be, I believe, a gap closer. So I'm gonna make this purple line change into that thing. It is Cold Thunder, so I'm going out for Ram's Voice, going in for Dragon Voice Thunder. You want to be reading the name of it. Now, right, his right, so I'm gonna go to his left because I'm facing backwards. If that makes it a little confusing, always make sure that you're facing Chimera head to head so you can manage your thing here. Cacophony does a tethered orb. Here for physical range is really easy. Once this thing explodes, which will do maybe in about 10 seconds, it'll then use a left-right breath, so be ready. This orb, even though this is a very simple mechanic, that will one-shot you if you're in its vicinity of the explosion. That will also one-shot a tank. So don't play with that. Just run away. Also, I did the breath. I went to my right. It was right breath, so I went to my right. Alright, so we're getting some distance here. Thunder Cold, that is in, then out. Dragon Voice, and then Ram's Voice. Dragon Voice. Ram's Voice. Alrighty. Well, Suki, if no one gets to you, I'll get to you after we finish this one. Alright, so this is pretty much rinse and repeat now. That's the fight. Definitely a fight that's good to fight straight up. We're going out then in, that is an Ice and Thunder, so Ram's Voice first into Dragon Voice, going in. Some of the fights as we go later and later, there might be a little bit of a temptation to use a Demi-Clone for it to go faster, which I don't blame you, but for now, we're definitely going to fight this straight up. Cacophony, it is the Tether. You have some time, even if it happens to spawn on top of you. I had this happen a couple times on Melee, where the orb is like literally right on top of me, but you have a little bit of time to get away from it. The moment it explodes, you're gonna find a left or right. Exploding, look, left, I'm going my left. Entire arena. Getting ready for its next mechanic, which I believe is the gap closer. There it is. Moving away, Thunderous Cold, that is in, then out. Dragon Voice first. Ice, Ram's Voice out. Alright. Watching for the breath, that is left, that's his left, so I'm going to the right. Again, the easier way is just to stand in front to make it easier, but, you know, whichever way is going to make more sense to you, then take it. I'm going in, then out. Thunder, then Ice. Dragon Voice first, and we're getting out of here. Now, the voice will not one-shot you. Unlike its friendos in the regular enemies, you'll have an opportunity to kind of survive, especially with Steel on, but you definitely won't survive more than one. And that is 50. The question, asks Suki, how can I save time if I'm low on time? What's the best way to do it? Alright, good question. So, there's a couple ways to do it, alright? We're not gonna make any kind of crazy, like, okay, what are your palms kind of thing. We'll just, if then kind of thing. If you're super low on time, let's say you're creeping up to, like 15 minutes going into, like, the 8th floor. Dreads are probably your fastest bet for speed, because you can one-shot and get to the exit. We can do what we call the double dip for some floors, which is to take the Dread into one floor, and then take it into another floor, because it's a 1-minute buff. Storms, you know, anything that kills fast. You know, planning a Storms out, doing the Dread. Those are really good options. I would not recommend a Demi-Clone if you've already dealt with the floor. So if you've fought a couple things, don't do a Demi-Clone, because you're not going to kind of maximize its efficiency there. If you're going to do a Demi-Clone, do it early. So, like, if you had 15 minutes on 88, I would potentially do either a double dip Dread or a Demi-Clone there, and then do a Dread into the 2nd floor. Not a bad option. Flights are great. I like to do flights if I'm in, like, 20 minutes. So, like, if we're less than 20 minutes, if we're a little over 20 minutes, let's say, like, between 20 to 25 minutes into, like, the 5th, 6th, or 7th floor, I will use a flight, because it allows me to not feel pressure in terms of getting through the next floor. because the kills are cut in half. There's less enemies, and we can probably get off that floor faster than if it was a normal floor. So it allowed me to kind of manage time a little bit better. So flights if you have a lot more time, dreads and storms if you have a lot less time. But the flights are a little bit strategic because you kind of want to think ahead a little bit, right? So like, you know, using a flight into the second floor with like 55 minutes remaining might seem a little overkill, but pushing it to 2 is not a bad idea, and you know that's going to save you time. So that's the strat that some people do use, so that they keep the flights to 2, using it specifically to speed you up. And so you're kind of, you know, helping out your future self by already buying yourself a little extra time. So there's a little bit of thought process into flights. You have to kind of, you know, again, it's all about maximizing your efficiency with the protomanders. You want to get the most out of every single protomander that you use, and that's how you get through. Always spawns on the Chimera's right wing. Does it really? You know, Willow, you're seriously gonna be like a mad scientist in here. Did you mention everyone has their own place they like to use raising? I would also recommend using Lethargy the same way. If you have some particular floor monster that you find scary, since there's nothing you need to save it for. Yeah, but also leaves to be true. I mean, like watching a video like this will definitely help you get some information, right? Because you're prepared. But if there's still something that you're like, you know, I know what it does, but I'm not really sure how to handle it, Lethargy's gonna be. It's always it's the prog protomander. Helps you out. Now we do only have one raising, so I do have to be a little bit careful. I will not raising here, I'd rather raising 61. So if I had to choose, I'm raising 61. But this floor usually is okay. Although there are things that we're gonna pull that will make it a little spicy, so we'll see how that goes. But